Well, as the saying goes, wonders never end, and so we could also make it of the story, incidents happening in Nigeria ahead of the 2027 elections by saying that intrigues and suspense never stops emanating from the corridors of power and, of course, the political terrain. Well, you agree with me that 2027 election is quite a very big attention that Nigerians are focusing on, and most especially as regards how to get it right. The electoral process, how to make sure it's credible, how to make sure it's transparent enough, and again, a big one, how to make sure it's competitive. Well, the ripples effect here is what just transpired recently over the court asking INEC to deregister the ADC and 4 other political parties, which includes the Zenith Labour Party, the APP, and others. Well, with this I say good morning. It is a beautiful morning because we will continue to interrogate the process and make sure that we get it right this time. My name is Philip Omo-Gutbo. No doubt I have with me Arno Luakpo Stevens, good morning, and of course Lawrence Osifo.
Good morning, Philip. It seems like you have always the quote to say every single time you come here, which is really great. I always look forward to it.
Well, also, I will say every day that comes with a lot of intrigues, but we are hopeful. Like the saying goes, Nigerians are resilient people. So,
absolutely.
How you doing, Lawrence?
Very well, Philip. Good morning. Good to see you again. Looking dashy.
Oh, really?
And the butterfly looking butterflyish, like you said. Okay, on stage. We're here again as always. We wake up, we dress up, and we show up to analyze the issue, to look at what's happening in the politics and in the polity, to see how we can make a balance between the daily life and the reality. So we're here.
No matter what they do, if they want to break us, we will say no, never. We can't break. We are resilient people.
Some persons are broken already.
Well, it's quite disheartening. Although some saw it coming, like I really did, because we look at situations where it is quite imperative that we make the electoral process highly competitive in order to bring about, the democratic tenets that we'll talk about. Yeah. We'll look at the 1993, electoral process, and despite it being adjudged as the most credible, it was denied. And of course, this again brings to the crucible how we're gonna get it right. A situation where there are issues already, pending, and of course trying to, deregister, or will I say trying to, if not that they are doing it this morning. Yeah. The register political parties, 5 political parties, just few months to the election. How do you agree that?
After the primaries? Well, I feel, and not me feeling right now, there are those who would say, because I have to just get
you can also feel because you are in Nigeria.
Out of the whole situation. There are those who would say, according to the National Secretary of the ADC, he was at both sister stations yesterday, really airing out his view, and then he said that he seems to him that there's a political undertone to this, because we got the news yesterday moments after the ADC announced that finally they have a running mate for Atiku Abubakar in the person of Rotimi Chibuike Amechi, and got a lot of Nigerians really talking and reacting to it. And then a couple of hours later, we're seeing a new development that the court has actually ordered INEC to deregister the ADC, that's the African Democratic Congress, the Action People Party, Action Alliance, and Accord Party, and also the Zenith Labour Party. Now, why were they even deregistered in the first place? So Justice Peter Alifu held that the parties failed to meet constitutional electoral performance requirement for continued registration. Now, what this simply means is the judgment relied on provisions that require a political party to either win at least 1 elective seat at any level of government or secure at least 25% of votes in a state during a presidential election. And I remember remember listening to Bolaji yesterday, the National Secretary of the ADC, where he was vehemently saying that they are not at fault at any of this, especially with winning a seat in, the current political landscape in Nigeria, a situation where due to the movement from one party to another, the campaign from one party to another, they had, a couple of two persons in their party and seats in the current administration. But what happened? They came to the APC, and according to him, they still have their returning ticket right there with them. So on that grounds, it is actually a void. But moving forward, he said that they are going to appeal it. And the shocking part was where he said they had no information about, a court, standing yesterday. And it's truly where we are. But it says a lot about the political system and the political landscape in Nigeria. And according to Bolaji, he says that they are going to court this morning. And I feel like that the battle already began, with so many things to unveil moving forward in the Nigeria political landscape right here in Nigeria. Well, Nigerians are watching and the whole world is watching.
Well, we could call it a very hot movie series. Well, what's your reaction?
Truth is, the Nigerian political space is a very, I want to use the word funny, because the word ringing on my head, I can't use it on air, but it's a very funny space where Party A, we always want to bring down the PhD, attitude. You want to bring down the other party. Why did this not happen? And if you look at how these things happen, it is the judiciary that is being used always for all of the shenanigans that happens. The judiciary ought to be an independent body on its own, just like you have the executive and the legislature. But over the years, we've seen the judiciary as that tools that either legislature or executive can use because of one or two different interpretations. Interpretation in the High Court is different from the interpretation in the Appeal Court. The interpretation in the Appeal Court is different from the interpretation in the Supreme Court. There ought to be a single interpretation anyway, but it now beckons on the person interpreting it at that point in time. That's the judge.
Yes.
So,
but we have an electoral act.
Of course we do.
And of course there are requirements that political parties should meet before they even fly party candidates.
Yeah.
Well, I think this
but
again,
if they hadn't
this again will bring about litigations.
Sure, definitely. They will always litigate.
Yes, and the challenge is that it's just getting close to the
election. This is June.
Nigerians have the right. Yes, Nigerians have the right to choose among competitive options.
Yeah.
To choose among alternative.
Not just Nigerians, humans have the right to choose.
Yes, no. We are looking at the Nigerian electoral process.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. So we're looking at situations where we get it right in the Nigerian electoral process. We're looking at the need for us to emphasize on the democratic tenets.
Yeah.
If we talk about not having an uninterrupted democratic rule
for 27 years.
About 27 years.
Exactly 27 years.
From 1999 to date. We should also put to the crucible the values of our electoral process. In 27 years of not having interruptions, can we present such a report and we call it a credible report? Well, I think a lot needs to be done, most especially where emphasis should be placed on the electoral process, so that it doesn't seem like there is an attempt to kind of tilt the country into a one-party state,
which other persons are already seeing in different quarters.
Well, joining us as the Lagos studio. Good morning, Ms.
Good morning to you,
Good to have you join.
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, Anu. Good morning, Lawrence. Trust you guys are doing good. All right, from Lagos, we're also going to be looking at this particular topic. I mean, we saw yesterday where the court ordered the registration of the ADC Accord, Zenith Labour Party, Action People Party, and the Action Alliance. And the good thing is we're going to be having the Accord chieftain, to come help us talk more on this today from Lagos. I mean, why allow these parties, do their primaries before, asking the INEC to deregister them? It's somehow, I don't know, when I saw it yesterday, I was just like, wow. I mean, election is by the corner. It's just next year here. And you're already asking the INEC to deregister some parties. It sounds somehow, knowing fully well that the ex-vice president, Atiku Abubakar, is one of them, like Anu earlier said, just when they've announced that Rotimi Amechi will be the vice, president, run as a vice president, and boom, we're saying all those things on the internet. We've been saying on politics, we've been saying, is Nigeria finally becoming a one-party system? Okay, at some point we saw that, okay, other political parties now are out, to contest. I mean, Nigerians have the right to choose who they want to vote for. Not at this point, you're ordering the INEC to deregister these parties, just saying that they failed to meet the parties, the constitutional electoral performance, when it's just few months to, the general election. It's uncalled for. Let's just hope to see what happens next after this. So we're going to be having an accord, Honorable Said Ajadi, and Accord Chieftain, who will help us talk more on this topic. So basically from Lagos, we're going to be focusing more on this today.
Like you did say, well, this is a hot movie series, and we want to see who's going to be the hero, or who's going to be the protagonist in this, and who's going to be the enemy that will be tackled in the course of the movie. Well, but again, there's need to always stick to the rules, stick to the Electoral Act. And if these requirements have been dogged out from the Electoral Act, it then again also brings some fairness to whatever litigation that may follow as a result of, the listing the political parties. But again, is this helping our democracy? Just like in a hot movie where the hunters would decide that they're going to shoot without missing. Well, what would the bird say? They would fly without pitching, rather. Yeah, so, well, going forward, how healthy is this practice for our democracy? Because most especially as the electoral process is getting close. Yeah. Probably Nigerians or the electorate may not have opportunity to have right choices going forward.
Well, how healthy, honestly, only time will tell with, actions and dramatic situation unfolding in real world. And one would have thought that after the primaries of different political parties, it will actually put an end to all of the political shenanigans and drama that we have been seeing, across the different political parties. But we can only wait and see, really. But then again, the timing of this conversation or information rolling out from the court is also one thing to look out for.
We can only wait and see. We don't want to wait and see anything negative. How healthy? Don't take us back to it. How healthy? Yes, because with this delineation that could be in the process, we may have little or no question to it as the electorate.
Philip, can I tell you a question?
I said, the end or no choice to make. Can I tell you a question to another question? Do you think the ruling party wants a healthy? No. This is away from the ruling party. No. Let's follow this logically.
It's like the biblical saying, the voice of Esau in the house of Jacob.
The argument here is coming from the infractions of the Electoral Act.
Infractions
of the youth. That is why does it not affect other political parties? These are requirements expected of political parties.
Why is it not affecting
and it's expected that every political party and the members should peruse what the Electoral Act says in order not to fall into booby traps.
The Electoral Act.
If booby traps are set based on ignorance, basically.
The Electoral Act.
We will bring the Electoral Act for that because there is already a constitutional provision that political parties must follow.
Of course, there is constitutional and the Electoral Act. But why did they not do all of this before the primaries?
That's the
sad what that's what I'm asking. That's what I had to ask you. Do you think the ruling party is ready for a healthy competition? It's just my personal opinion, anyway. And
that's an intriguing
question. So those are the things we look at. Is the opposite? The ruling party really, do they want opposition, a healthy one at that? Because from the way it's going, it's like a one-horse race already. But Nigerians should be the ones to decide.
Whatever could be happening, the one who is setting the booby trap should know that one day
the same
trap is going to fall into a booby trap.
Absolutely.
Nigerians are watching. The electorates are not really taking it as funny, because what has to do with making governance really effective is what we are about. We want to make sure that the 2027 electoral process should be seen as the best so far. But how do we do it? Everyone should, put his hands on the deck. Well, like they say, cross the T's
and dot your I's.
Dot the I's.
But in some cases in Nigeria, you now cross the I's and dot the T's.
The other way around. We'll take a short break, after which we're going to be looking at the pages of the newspapers this day. Chase, as we have the Vanguard newspaper as our first point of call, which will be hitting the screen right about now. On the Vanguard, we have this. It says, Atiku, Mark, Adeleke, Fium, vow to be on the ballot. Of course, this is not far-fetched from the threats that is still really shaking and rippling the whole political stream as regards the court's action on INEC to deregister ADC and, of course, for the political parties. This says, terrorism, federal government resumes mass trial of 600 Boko Haram suspects. And on xenophobia, artists' shows are being cancelled across Africa. Why I dumped Abacha's transition program. This is coming from General Abdulsalami. You get that on page 4. And again, this very sad incident we can see on the photo here. General Abubakar's widow rescued and hospitalized. Kidnapped Kwara monarch dies in captivity after 1.8 million naira ransom payment. In spite of the ransom payment, death was also imminent. This says Danladi Popular convincingly won Kwara APC global context. This is coming from the APC elders and stakeholders. You get it on page 15. ADC picks Amechi as Atiku's running mate for 2027. And just after that, the bomb shared.
Oh, well, this is Nigeria. We'll move over to the First Daily newspaper, leading with the ADC. It says ADC rejects the registration ruling, names Amechi Atiku's running mate in 2027 shakeup. Subwriter says party wants verdict, threatens Nigeria's democracy. Okonkwo dumps Atiku over Amechi's speak. Now, that's one politician that a lot of Nigerians really should look out for, because he has just been in the news for interesting reasons, from Peter Obi now down to Amechi and also Atiku Abubakar. Well, away from that, Obi to youth, your PVC is your greatest weapon. Your PVC is your greatest weapon. Federal government relaunches mass terror trials, arraigns over 400 suspects. Kwankwaso's son named Kanu NDC deputy governorship candidate. We're still on the front page of the First Daily newspaper this morning. Nigeria's records third straight inflation rise hits 15.93%. Soludo backs Tinubu, calls for progressive unity in Ebonyi rally. That's the governor of Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Soludo of the Apga Party, backing Tinubu for a second term in office. Kano screens 1,500 couples for mass wedding, budget 1.5 billion naira. NDLEA raises 6.15 billion naira from drug assets auctions. And finally, on the front page of the First Daily this morning, man chains a sister for 16 months in Abuja. Away from that, we turn our attention over to the Punch newspaper.
Okay, let's see what the Punch is talking about. And the Punch is leading with 2027 battle. Opposition rages as court scraps ADC and 4 other political parties. 2027 battle. Opposition rages as court scraps ADC and 4 other political parties. Above the masthead, page 26, inflation nears 16% as geopolitical risk mount. Inflation nears 16% as geopolitical risk mounts. Page 7, troops rescue late general's wife in Katsina offensive. Troops rescue late general's wife in Katsina offensive. And on page 10, I told Obasanjo not to contest the 1999 presidency. Who's speaking? Abdulsalam Abubakar is talking there. So you can grab the copy and see what Abdulsalam, why he told Obasanjo not to run in 1999. And also below, we can see Atiku, Adeleke, Mark, ADC, Accord Party, Fourth Court order the registering parties. Opposition party vowed to field candidates despite court verdict. And also Turaki-led PDP Obedient Movement says judgment is an attempt to derail democracy. And finally, below that, we can see Air Force officers beat Lagos driver dead after a minor clash. You can find that on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. And Kwara APC crisis worsen as elders reject governor's candidate on page 14.
All right, quickly, let's go to the first daily, and we'll take about a couple of headlines there, and we'll call it a wrap.
We've had the first
On the first dailies, we have this. It says, OB to youths, your PVC is your greatest weapon. But let's quickly go to the Vanguard newspaper. There's a very, very beautiful cartoon I would like us to make a reflection on the Vanguard newspaper. And it says, if we can get it on the screen, on the Vanguard newspaper, it says, Mr. and Mrs., I don't know why I should cook with my money all the time. And whenever I complain, you tell me to manage. And then the big man said, marriage is managed. Well, we liken this to the Nigerian government and its people. Why the government is saying manage. Manage with what? How can we tackle it headlong? Well, there's much that should be done by the government to make it seamless for the people to go around about this. Well, in a few seconds, I want you to react to that, Anna.
Oh, well, certainly marriage will not be managed for me. I refuse that, right? But
marriage will not be managed for you.
It won't be managed for me at all. Yeah, it's what you want. You say what you want. But then
have you forgotten what the economic says?
No.
Human rights are insatiable, but the resources are limited.
No, it's what you want. There are a lot of persons. We still have, just the other day we're talking about Elon Musk becoming the world's first trillionaire in the same world that you and I are operating in. So it's what you want that happens to you. But for me, no way. But likening it to the political landscape, I feel it's out of it when the big wigs, the politicians are riding different cars, and then the average Nigerians, you tell them to manage, and you say, don't worry, all the dividends you're suffering, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, for some persons, the light you will not even see,
light at the end of
and
the
you might not even get to the tunnel.
Is not a good place in itself.
So what is good for the goods is good for the ganja. I love to end on that.
Okay, Lawrence, where should the light be?
The tunnel should be at the beginning. We came into the studio, everywhere is bright, so that's why we are seated. If everywhere is dark, so the light should be at the beginning of the... It should be at the beginning of the tunnel, not the end. The end is too far. No. I disagree with those statements. I'm not a party to that. If this place is dark, Philip, there is no light at all. You won't step into the studio. True, exactly. But because there is light, everywhere is bright. We came in here, so the light should be at the beginning, so that we can see where we are going at the end.
So it's not really funny, but we look at how we can get it right.
Absolutely.
The government functionaries must do the needful. We understand the fact when the president came on board and said, fuel subsidy
is gone. We're going to save money.
Fix the reactions that are happening. Let's get it right.
Oh, can he just swallow his pride and just tell us subsidy is not gone anymore? We brought it back. So
no. In as much as we always cascade it to a point where we say, we cannot continue to subsidize.
Yeah.
But not in a situation where you've not gotten the sectors moving.
Yeah.
You should have the economy at a point where it's running blue on a blue page. You should have everyone finding a common ground to overcome the situation, a common balance.
But
you should have our refineries working.
Right.
One out of at least one out of indices. There must be indices showing that we are working towards the brighter prospect.
Absolutely, I agree.
Before you now say fuel subsidy is gone.
Well,
the Strait of Hormuz was blocked for just 2 months. We felt the impact.
Well, thank God we have the Dangote refinery saving us right here in Nigeria, even though it's not government owned. But then again, there was one time in Nigeria where we had fillers and rumors had it that it seemed to feel the subsidy was back, but we didn't get clarification as of that. But I'm just also going to end on this note that let the poor breathe.
Let the poor breathe. And this is where we'll call it on the opening. But don't forget, shortly we will be having the discussion that will center on democracy and the quest for national integration, role of the regional leaders in bringing about change as agents of change. We'll take a short break, after which we quickly dive on that. Do stay.
ITV, certainly the best.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Well, Nigeria having all that has to do with heterogeneity, a heterogeneous background with over 250, ethnic groups with different cultures and languages. Again, looking at the diversity we have, in spite of the diversity, there's always a need for us to produce strength in making sure that we stay united. We've been on this course, and so there has been discussions around it, and most especially actions to be made in situations where we should first think ourselves as Nigerians before we think ourselves as regional, members of the country, most especially as we look at the topic before us, which is on democracy and the quest for national integration, role of regional leaders as agents of change. And discussing this with me, starting from my extreme left, I have a leader in all repute, looking at the former state chairman of NDCP, former candidate of the House of Representatives, Ego Ikubawaka Federal Constituency, Vice Chairman Northern Leaders Forum, Gombe State Caucus, also Vice Chairman Northern Leaders Forum, Kano State, and also was Vice Chairman, Northern Leaders Forum, Taraba State, Vice Chairman, Northern Leaders Forum, Zamfara State. Indeed, a national leader. Dr. Michael Obasuye, big thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Philip. Good morning, viewers.
And next to Dr. Michael Obasuye is a political analyst, a social media influencer, Frank Ehiosun. Big thanks for coming, comrade.
Quite a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we are in the situation where, let's say, we're at the crossroads, where we must get it right. In spite of the heterogeneous background we come from, there is need for us to have it right, where unity will be seen in the forefront, even in the electoral process, where we see politicians, first of all, thinking the way of making Nigeria great before having the sentiments of where they come from, their regional sentiments and all of this. But again, you are a leader in this repute, and of course, we've seen you galvanize, you know, even while you were, you know, aspirant before you became a candidate of the party, and again before you, you know, rose to the pinnacle of the positions you've held. Now, what do you see as a rudiment or as a gap that needs to be closed, and what do you think should be done in respect of making sure that we have regional leaders who first think of Nigeria before their region settlements? Do you see any gap that needs to be closed, and what should be done in that respect?
Yeah, thank you very much. Once again, good morning, viewers. First of all, let's go to the basics.
Okay.
From the very beginning, nationalists like Obafemi Awolowo, like Sir Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, like Herbert Macaulay, like Anthony Enaholo, and other national leaders of our great country, Nigeria. Their ideology for being a nationalist is not for personal interest or personal gain. It is for regional interest, regional cohesion. So I think we must first of all go back to that era. Being a national leader is not because you are from a state and now that you have transcended from being a state leader, and so you have been elevated to a national leader for your personal interests. Being a national leader means that having served your people in your local region or in your local area, you have what's it called now, exemplified yourself, and the people themselves projected you to represent them in the national space. Now let's come back home. The first ideology of a nationalist is not myself, it is us.
Exactly.
That's the first ideology of a nationalist. Now, until we get somebody or persons or leaders who project regional interests, who do not project personal interests, because it is high time we who project national interests. National interests. Regional interests coalesce to become national interests.
Yes, but we should come first.
Yes.
National interest.
Regional interests should come first.
Reasons?
Because without regions, there will be no nation.
That brings sectionalism.
No. Look, there's a parable that says that I cannot be the father of a river god and I'll be tasty. So what it means simply is this. Governor cannot be governor of Edo State and take Edo money to go and help River State, or take Edo money and go and be developing Lagos State. So there must first of all be regionalism before there's nationalism.
So you're saying charity begins at home?
Charity begins at home. So you see,
but if you say that, that again brings to question about patriotism, because if you look at what has been in the discussion so far, you know, over the northern and the southern, you know, regions, why we say, well, at this point we need a southern president, the other will say, well, no, at this point we need another president. these are all regional differences.
Yes.
Which we've been finding it hard, you know, to close the gap on.
Yes.
And so the essence of it is to close the gap, to make sure that first we think about national interest
Yes.
before regional interest. But you're saying it the other way. So how do you tie it along?
You see, these things go both ways.
Okay.
We don't need a president. See, when we say we need a president from a specific region or we need a president from this other region, one thing you must have in mind is that whether the president comes from south or the president comes from north or the president comes from east or west, it is the personality of the individual at that level that we look at. However, in the interest of what's it called now? Equality. In the interest of equality, in the interest of fair play, we say that power must be rotated between the south and the north. And that is why we actually formed the Southern Group. Because you are aware of the Northern Group. The North actually have this what's it called? This coalition among themselves, devoid of political interest, devoid of politics, political party, devoid of personal interest. But in the South here, it is not like that. In the South here, we are bound by political parties. If we are not bound by political parties, we are bound by personal interests. If we are not bound by personal interests, we are bound by other interests. So we now say, okay, fine, what do we do? Let us form a group that is devoid of political interest, devoid of whatever. Let us just first be Nigerians. Let us just first be Southerners.
Exactly.
So we form the Southern Group. And the Southern Group, the ideology of the Southern Group is that the regional interest must come first. Look, whether you like it or not, the south, 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 east, southwest, south, 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 east, southwest.
Okay.
This constitutes the southern part of Nigeria. We have people, indigenous people. These people did not fall from heaven, they did not fall from sky. They were deaf from centuries to centuries, generation to generation. Culture, tradition, long history followed these people. Therefore, you cannot sideline them in the discourse of the national world, national interest. You cannot sideline them. So therefore, if you don't expect somebody from the north to come and protect your people here, or to come and protect their interest, it is we from the south that protect certain interests. I'm not talking about division, dividing any what's it called, region by politics or whatever. Like I said, it is very political. It is just protecting the interest of the southern region in the general interests of Nigeria.
Well, let's get your reactions, Frank.
Going by the title I see highlighted on screen, democracy and the quest for national integration. And the question you put across to my co-discussant on, if I heard you correctly, national interest, regional interest, as in which comes first and whatnot. I think that the most important thing in any democratic system is the fact that priority should be placed on rule-based order. Democracy is a system of government. Sir Martin Luther wrote a piece in 1960, Political Man, where he affirmed that democracy stands on two basic pillars, pari passu, the pillar of conflict and the pillar of consensus.
Wow.
Often scholars have broken it further to highlight the reality that we enjoy. That democracy stands on four major pillars: freedom, representation, equity, and justice. And those four pillars seem to reflect the core divides as manifest in Ballon de Montesquieu projection in terms of the rule of separation of power or principle of separation of powers, where you have the arms of government. You say maybe the executive reflects equity, implementing whatever it is that pertains to what is for the good of all and sundry, while the legislature reflects representation. While freedom, of course, is a reflection of everybody having their views and is given expression by the fourth estate of the realm, like it's going on presently.
Yes.
And of course, the judiciary is the anchor of the concept of justice. Coming down to our local sphere, I don't concur to the viewpoint of one being before the other. Interest could be pursued pari passu as far as the rules are defined. The fact that we are a nation, there are regions, maybe in this case we have states. Those days we start with regions.
Yeah.
And we have a nation. It is compositely incoherent to attempt to pursue one at any point in time, leaving the other. Hence, one doesn't come before the other. For due coexistence, it must go pari passu. What matters is that they aren't undue areas of conflict, in the sense that it's a universal set where they have peculiar points of intersection. And those points of intersections are perennial because the regions coexist with the nation as a collective. But I think that it must be unduly academic to see with this pool of postulations without looking at the core issues that pertain to Nigeria as it is.
Okay, but if you look at the fragments we're having, if we look at the seemingly divisions we're having, is it not as a result of pursuing sectional interests over national interest?
No, it's not. It's actually a case of repairing to the wrong direction, maybe after the outset, not necessarily from the outset. Okay. You see, in the history of evolution of nation states, there are fundamentals that you can't put aside. Nations have been existing for thousands of years, and they have evolved by practice, by experience, by policy, to certain lines that ensure that living together as a collective is convenient. Nigeria wasn't a nation 120 years ago. Nigeria wasn't a nation 150 years ago. Nigeria is a nation by accident. A nation by accident in the sense that we didn't give ourselves a name. Yeah. A man just by the commonness of his girlfriend's proclivity opted to give us a name. Yeah. And see this. And we are still swimming in it today. No, it's not bad. The same folks, the same colonial masters gave Ghana a name. They call them Gold Coast. Yeah. Immediately they got independence. Tomafima, they didn't stay for a month or a week or whatever. They changed their name because they opted for something peculiar to their identity. Yeah. But you can see Nigeria is so disaggregated that the founding fathers do not see them as anything of consequence because they live with a level one. They are a group of different nations. Even if on the major notes they tended to divide it into three major nations, in quotes, and group the others into one as a minority from the outset. So that's why I said that we missed the mark as we evolved, unfortunately. And central to that is the institution of the military. The First Republic was not perfect, but the founding fathers knew very well that for a group of people that are so diverse in their proclivities, cultures, orientation, religion, to live in harmony, they must adopt a system of government that prioritizes their individuality while it equally promotes their living in harmony as a collective. That was why they opted for federalism. And we didn't stop at that. As initiated by Dr. Bello, of course, but on top by Lambda Secretary and Bello subsequently, they opted for parliamentary federalism. Not just federalism, but parliamentary federalism that is more reflective of representation. That ensures that however powerful the center is, there is some level of disaggregation in a sense that ensures that power belongs to the people and regions are not exploited unduly. Yeah. But the military came in, interrupted it with their training of simple command and control without basic ideological studies and orientation to construe concepts, know the implications both in the medium, short, medium, and long term. That is where the decision came from. Now, Nigeria, unfortunately, has been on this part of this area. I see it as some perpetual discombobulation that we don't seem to be inclined to opt out of, unfortunately. And I feel the often time that you cannot go a route that is not appropriate and feel that yes, will take us unduly.
Okay, let me cut you there, Mr. Ehioso. Let me come to you, Dr. Michael. Yeah. Now, looking at everything he has said, what he said, I want to prompt a question from me, talking about federalism. Of course. Back in the days when it was a regional government, it was a fiscal federalism. Of course. You use what you get to develop your region. And the people were happy. Some of the road that was built under the administration of when I was not even dreamt to be born, it is still on when you go to some part of Edo and Delta, when it was the defunct Midwestern region, defunct Bendel State, now Edo and Delta. Now, do you think the best option now should be going back to to fiscal federalism, regional system, other than this whole idea of every month everybody is running to Abuja, let's go and share FAC money, let's go and share MTN money, and when the money eventually comes, some of the leaders or the governors in most cases hijack this money. So in your opinion, as someone who has been in this for quite a long time, do you think we should go back to the, should I call it good old days now, or to the olden days?
Thank you very much, my dear brother. I will not miss words, because we owe it as a duty, first as Nigerians, then as human beings, to speak the truth, no matter what or whose house is God's. You see, if I want to paint story here, I know how to paint it. If I want to speak grammar, I know how to speak it. But at this stage, I think it calls for calling a spade a spade. My dear brother, I listen to you very well. I think I quite disagree with you, frankly. They cannot
as his name goes.
Sorry, just say frankly. So you see, I quite disagree with you.
Okay.
Like I said before, if I want to model up things, and you know, I'm a medical doctor by profession, and I know all the things to say. But since I was born till now, I have never seen oil mixed with water. I have never seen oil coexist with water. It is never possible.
But are you trying to say that we cannot add to water in the process of cooking?
Yes.
Okay.
But it is by the force and effort of the heat
that brings
them together.
Okay.
Because the hydrophilic end and the hydrophobic tail that exists in molecules does not allow water and oil to mix.
Okay.
But let us leave that one. No, we won't leave it.
We can coexist.
What I mean is that right now in Nigeria, the south is hydrophobic end,
the north is
hydrophobic end, and the south is hydrophilic end or hydrophilic tail. Therefore, it cannot coexist. The driving force, which was supposed to be the heat, has now been partial, trying to heat one side than the other. I'm speaking in parables, but let me come clear. You see, until we go to regional system of governance,
going back again to
where the founding fathers who originated Nigeria or who called Nigeria, actually, if you look at it, we blame them. They gave us a name. They ran away. At the end, there is what's it called, indirect rule of governance, where till now Nigeria is not yet free. Nigeria. Who put us in that bondage? It is you and me that put ourselves in that bondage.
So Nigerians are the one who put us.
Yes. Because an average Nigerian, this is how an average Nigerian thinks. I'm a Nigerian. So when I say I'm average Nigerian, I'm talking about including myself.
Yeah.
An average Nigerian thinks like this. Oh, my family is good, business is good, I'm eating well, I'm okay, I've never been kidnapped. So it doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern me. And then when they want to speak, they speak for a while and they relax. The average Nigerian is so resilient to heat and fire, such that even when they are passing through the most terrible conditions, they don't complain. I think we need to start complaining. I think we need to start to tell ourselves.
But you could complain and nobody listens to you.
It is not just by complaining to yourself.
Okay.
It is by complaining and then matching your complaint with action.
Okay.
And the way and manner you match your complaint with action is not even only by protests. Protest is, of course, legitimate protest is okay. Lawful protest is okay. But I think the best protest is with your PVC. But let us leave that aspect. Let us now come to where we are. We are looking at democracy and quest for national integration. When we say national integration, we are talking about 36 states of the federation. We are talking about more than 300 and something tribes that exist in Nigeria. We cannot integrate once there is no respect for regional autonomy. We can never integrate. Right now, Edo produces a lot of gas. The largest reserve of gas in Nigeria is in Edo State. Are you aware?
And coal has been discovered recently.
Coal has been discovered recently now, although we cannot compare ourselves with Enugu.
No.
But let us look at gas. Do you know what you can use gas for?
Yeah.
The application of gas. Yeah. Edo is an oil producing state. If, for example, Edo produces 100 billion cubic feet of gas. No, let us translate it to Naira, because Naira is what everybody understands. Okay. Edo produces 100 billion Naira. Rivers produce 200 billion. Ebonyi produce 50 billion. Taraba produce 20 billion. Oh no, it's not up to maybe 10 billion. Like that. You want to now share. That Edo that produced 100 billion, you now gave Edo 50 billion or 30 billion or even 20 billion. And then that Taraba that produced 20 billion, you now gave Taraba 40 billion. That's unfair. Even you yourself, if you are Taraba, won't you look at yourself as a thief? Now, look at it this way. We should not keep the goose that lay the golden eggs. That is what we continue to do day by day, year by year, and then we expect Nigeria to be better. Okay. It can never be better. Okay. So we must come back to regional system of governance, which I advocate for, and that was the reason why we said no, enough is enough. Let us go and form our society group. Okay. Let all political parties devoid of interest or reason come together and let us repair our region.
Okay. Let's look at insecurity. How it is springing up. Do you see this as coming from sentiments based on regionality?
Fallout of the regional. Should it be?
Before I hit the nail on the head on that path, I would, while my colleague said he disagrees with me, apart from the maybe a few specifics, you're already on my part. I am not
by implication or by accident.
No, like when you talk about the regional stuff, I emphasized something earlier when I said it's not region before national. I said everything because we're already together as a collective.
So you said.
That is not to say that I am 100% convinced about having together as a collective.
Okay.
First of all, Nigeria is an unfortunate admix. That is the truth.
That we must manage.
See, isn't it? We must manage. That's why I emphasize based on that from the outset. Even when you're talking about nationalism, I was a tribalist. In fact, tribe comes before the nation in terms of where you belong to first. That's also you don't want pari passu.
I mean, that one wasn't nationalistic.
He was a nationalist in a sense, but not in the class of Nnamdi Azikiwe and Ahmadu Bello. He was inclined to nationalism on objective notes, not excluding the fact that every region has its peculiarity. Okay. That is my point of emphasis. That's why I said it wasn't wearing that kind of nationalism on the usual note. Okay. Now, coming to the issue of insecurity, it still comes down to what we are talking about. Insecurity in Nigeria has facets. You have many components. Maybe people go to some points, some little skirmishes here and there, which of course can happen in any collective, any society of men. But the core insecurity we have in Nigeria, I'm not going to say, is religious insecurity.
And what are the leaders doing?
No,
leaders.
You are jumping the door.
Walking in that direction.
You are jumping the door.
You said religious.
I said religious insecurity. I don't understand.
Drive through.
I'm going to land on the note of, yes. It's not just religious insecurity. Religion has identity. It's Islamic religious insecurity.
Okay.
And I can buttress data endlessly to make this fact known.
Okay.
Now, even before we got in the contents, the first trace of any form of terrorism, jihadism, and militancy, where was it from? It was from not just a region, but from a religious pursuit. Muhammad Mawa was the first man. The guy is not even in Nigeria. He was from Cameroon. His village where he's from in Cameroon is called Mawa. He was deported in 1962 by emergency decree. He was then the head of government before he became a republic in 1963. After he became a republic, the guy came back. It continued just what until he was killed in 1980. Remember the Metacin uprising?
Metacin uprising, yeah.
About 4,117 persons were killed in that uprising. There was another uprising in 1982 from those who were his followers. Over 3,500 more were killed. Another occurred in 1984 before it piped to a large extent. Now, Syria put that. In 1959, before Nigeria gained independence, the founding fathers had discussions, including of the colonial masters, as impactful and powerful as Salman Bello, Tafawa Balewa, who had, in quote, they say, the support of the colonial masters. If you don't get ahead of have Sharia law as a law in Nigeria or in the Delta region, it was simply accepted at the civil level. It wasn't possible. Everybody came to that consensus. After the First Republic, after it had collapsed, when they considered the Constitutional Review Committee, the 51 committee that already declared their membership, 49 people attended it. They finished their job and they elected 220 members across the country to form an assembly to review the provision of that constitution. In the course of that review, the delegates of the North raised on this issue of Sharia very vehemently. What the Morali just said, no, Nigeria is a secular state. You cannot practice Sharia as a criminal code, a full-blown law in a state that is secular, and it died naturally. Leaders of states like Absalom Abubakar, IBB, Abacha, who were even Muslims and others, could not implement Sharia in Nigeria. It was Obasanjo in 1999 under his watch that looked the other way and made Sani Yerima in 1999, sometime in October, enacted Sharia law in Zamfara State. If he had allowed or told the Attorney General to challenge it in the Supreme Court, which was his mandate also do, because as the president was supposed to uphold and maintain the constitution, he looked at it with political lens for confidence.
Okay. So you see that as an error?
It's not just an error. I mean the foundation of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. After he never succeeded, so many local governors implemented Sharia, 12 of them in total within the place of about 2 years or 3 years. Not because they wanted it, but because it was appealing to the people. The man who we blame for the bulk of the security we have in this republic, the late Mohammed Yusuf, he was the founder of Boko Haram. What was his mission? He was a member of the Sharia Implementation Committee set up in Benue State in year 2000 under the first governor in this Fourth Republic in Benue State. Why did he form Boko Haram? By the way, they didn't bring that name Boko Haram. It was the leader and people that gave them the name Boko Haram. He formed the group for the pursuit and implementation of Sharia. So I'm telling you that the Center for Public Security in Nigeria is actually a drive by a people to ensure that their religion is enforced to believe it. And in the history, check out the history of Islam. From the days of Prophet Muhammad, from the divide into the Shia and Sunni Muslim, to the point where within the Sunni you have the Salafi, you have the Sufis, and all the different sects. There's always been that pursuit. Okay. One extremist comes up from another group, all of them are not because everybody wants to. I think that's why they say a platform of government is continuum. Governance is continuum.
And again, we have the leadership under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, insecurity again is still a big challenge. And we have the
government is not serious about it because they don't want to call it by its name. I was just trying to give a trajectory, as in the history of where we are, and try in this Fourth Republic, that the center point of what the crisis going on is the fact that people want Sharia to be implemented. There are skirmishes from other fronts as it pertains to robbery, kidnapping, and all that, but it fits the major narrative, which is central to it. In the history of mankind, there is no ideology that has been as powerful as religion. When people are motivated by religion, you cannot even hold them back by whatever means that you think you could.
That's true, because religion has a way of driving people's mindset.
Okay.
Okay, let me now come to you. Him talking about, trying to give us an analysis of the question my co-anchor asked about insecurity. As it stands right now, what do you think, Dr. Michael, should be, how you put it, the cardinals, what the government should put in place? Because it seems like they are fighting this, you know, these guys with kid gloves, just like when you tell a child, don't go close to this hot water, the child goes close, you just tell them, live there, you know, those kind of pacifying words. The child will feel, oh, nothing is going to happen. But at the end of the day, that hot water may definitely pour either on the private part, and it will affect you, the damage the child badly. What do you think the government of the day should do? Because when we hear on daily basis, they've reintegrated so member after rehabilitation. Do you rehabilitate the mind of a terrorist and send them back to the society? It's a big question. It just happened last week in Borno State also. 720 were reintegrated into the society. These guys could come out tomorrow to be informant to the other guys in the forest. They could turn out tomorrow. You know, what do you think the government should do to tackle this head on?
Thank you very much. First of all, it's only in Nigeria that I hear that they integrate terrorists into the society. I've never heard it in my life before, anywhere in this world. I've never heard it. America will not do it. Britain will not do it. Germany will not do it. Russia will not do it. The great powers of the world, power nations, will never do it. Because it's like your devil is coming to tell you that, look, I've repented. All those things I did God that time. And those things I gave Adam apple to eat. I was just testing Adam. I'm so sorry. I say, but what about the apple you have read in millennia? And I say, well, you see, those ones are misunderstanding. But let's start on a fresh note. I'm no longer devil. I've renounced my title as devil. Do you change the heart of a man? Do you change the heart of a man? Look, but before I go there, for the first time, yes, I agree with my brother. For the first time, frankly, I'm not always mental. I agree with my brother on that area of religion. Yes, religion has been a driving tool for perpetration of whatever means or devices, either evil or good. Yeah. Religion has always been a driving tool. But I want to add one more thing to that, to add to what he has said. Resource control is another thing again. Which brings about war. When you fight for resources, you see, the North will tell you that the North is a fertile ground. Yes, every region is a fertile ground. Every area, every region is having their own peculiarities. Yeah. But I will tell you that the South has a lot of resources. Okay, the South has a lot of resources. But meanwhile, it is not every Northerner that is bad. In fact, the Northerners, in quote, they are very good people, most of them.
Yeah, yes, because I've seen you hold positions in those parts.
I will not hold sensitive positions.
And that is where the question about the regional leaders come in. Exactly. What are they doing as far as tackling insecurity at their end? Because some are even of the view that it seems these divisions we are having is just to discredit the government of the day. Let me ask you a question. Why the president or why the government of the day is trying to tackle this? We usually have presidents. There are some regional leaders that may also want to. We have presidents. We have vice presidents. How can these leaders be agents of change?
We have president. We have vice president. We have senate president. We have all those leaders. Now, when we secede certain positions to certain areas, we say it is in the interest of what? Of nationalism. In the interest of what? Of federal character. Federal character. Yeah. Okay? So the president, if he comes from the south, then the vice must come from the north. Like that. Pari passu. Yeah. All right. Now, as we were complaining of Buhari that time, that Buhari is a problem because a northerner is doing this, is doing that, is doing this, is doing that. Now we have a southern president. Has anything changed? Nothing has changed, in my own opinion. Yes, Tinubu is our brother from the south, but Tinubu has not done anything meaningful. Isn't it as part of the divisions that are being caused by some leaders? No, government. Who is the number one leader in the south? It's Tinubu. Yeah. Who is the number one leader in the nation? It's Tinubu. So it is not about leader. It's where the head goes that the body will follow.
Do you agree that this whole aspect of insecurity is wearing a political toga?
Of course. You see, like he said, before I was deviated, let me just quickly hammer on this point. First of all, the people who cause insecurity in Nigeria, like Abacha said if we want to, if there's civil unrest or there's a problem that exists for more than 48 hours without a solution, know that government is involved. That's what Abacha said. And Obasanjo made a statement again. Obasanjo said that the last time he led government, there were still tools and equipment that could track down every criminal in Nigeria. And then they should go and ask them. I was not the one who said it. Obasanjo that said it. At least he was a former military head of state and a former civilian president, so he should know what he's saying. He said they should go and ask them why Boko Haram still rampage people, why Fulani herdsmen still rampage people, why ISWAP still rampage people. That they should go and ask them, that they know what they are doing, and that they are just playing politics with the lives of Nigerians. But you see, this morning I want to say one thing. This morning I want to say one thing. No matter who we think we are, no matter of your status, no matter your religion, no matter whatever you call yourself, we must know that spilling innocent blood of any Nigerian will be called to question, either by your conscience if you don't have one, by your God if you don't have one, then by nature. Because you say something that when you come to a table like this, you see Christians, you see Muslims. Nigeria is
we'll start with prayers.
Nigeria is a secular state where you have Christians and Muslims. But anything that will deplete or tilt one side to the other lower end and then increase the other side to the upper limit, that will now tilt the nation to what the upper limit will be. What I'm trying to say in essence is that anything that will deplete Christians to a minority and then increase Muslims to a majority, or deplete Muslims to a minority and increase Christian to a majority, will actually tilt the state to what it should be. Now, Iran didn't used to be a Muslim state. Iran didn't used to be a Muslim state. Turkey didn't used to be a Muslim state. But all these things coming together, killing of these jihadists, blah, 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 are what has contributed to those states being a Muslim state. Okay. And that is what I see coming in Nigeria. If we don't rise up and say enough is enough. If we don't rise up,
that's again the challenge. How do we rise up to say enough is enough? Now, the government, the one who holds power, who is in charge of it, the president, some say it's not in charge. Some feel there are divisions already that are trying to, discredit his government. As we tilt towards the 2027 election, what do you see as the role that regional leaders should play? Even religious leaders, even the Gumi, and of course all that he brought into play in terms of tackling the issue of insecurity. Do you see resilience on the part of these leaders?
You see, the president is 100% in charge.
Okay.
There's this unfortunate viewpoint that seems to be widespread sometimes when people talk about government. When it pertains to policies that will impact on the masses, they'll say governance is difficult. That it's not easy to govern Nigeria. But when it pertains to what those in power are interested in, it doesn't take
very easy.
hours or days for it to be achieved. The president passed the tax law. How long did it take?
Less than
a month, less than a month.
Check out anything the president was interested in. The president is not interested in looking at corruption that pertains to military purchases or stuff in the past. But the man he doesn't fancy, where is he? The case is not there. See, he has 100% powers to do whatever he chooses to do. Secondly, when we talk about division, there must be division, please. Let's not. In any collective, there must be division. That is why there are rules of engagement to ensure that is division healthy. Division is very healthy. When there's no division, in fact, that society will certainly implode in no time. You should be the good of the state. So division is normal. Even in the best of communist systems that seem to wear the garb of reality across board, there's still some sense of division. So division is normal. Don't really show for any other stuff by the side. On this top note, like you were talking about regionalism, you see, this issue of insecurity I was emphasizing, even if I couldn't learn quite. When I said it's Islamic religious insecurity, you see, when you just look at it peripherally, and you just mention some names, most of these core people who are central to the, as an advancement of this cause,
all right, thank you.
They have supporters in their states.
All right, thank you. Well, you can round off on that in 10 seconds.
Just balance on that statement.
The guy that was the advisor to Ahmed Bello between 1962 until he passed on was late Alhaji Abubakar Gumi, the father of Gumi.
Okay.
In 1972.
So how do we get it right in 10 seconds?
10 seconds, okay.
How do we get it right?
The easiest way to get it right. like I've heard from the outset, is ensuring rule-based order. Okay. But this crisis of the lot, if federalism were really practiced, they would have addressed the issue and not transporting all this crap to those
I think we will have another opportunity where you can expatiate on what you just said, because I know that a lot you wanted to say, if not for the fact that we are cutting it. In 10 seconds, can you round off on your point?
In practical terms, because I like to be very practical.
Because you're a medical doctor.
Yes, I like to be very, very practical. You know, the people in the bush now suffering, the people kidnapped,
the 2 years old
people
child,
that are dead, you know, we cannot be speaking grammar. So we have to be very practical.
All right.
You see, for us to get it right, regional leaders who have good intention.
How do you know someone that have good intentions?
No, but you know them. But we don't want to go deep now.
Right, okay.
You see, regional leaders who have good intention must find a way and come together for regional cohesion, to promote regional stability, regional peace, and regional prosperity.
Thank you, Dr. Michael Obasuyi, leader, Southern Group. Big thanks to you, our political analyst in our midst, Frank Ehiosun. And that's much we can take. We now quickly move to Abuja, where the conversation we kick off from where we left off.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Bully, we're talking about. That's what I said. So when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
also seen some people being killed. Not only that, so many countries are evacuating their citizens from South Africa, and that has also affected bilateral relationship between Nigeria and South Africa. Joining me this morning to take a look at this, and also the effort being taken by the federal government in Nigeria to get more Nigerians out of South Africa, and also to put pressure on South Africa to bring down to the BRS Union the recent attack being witnessed in South Africa. Is no other person than Engineer Olubenga Odubayo. It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay. I know you've been following events unraveling in South Africa, especially relating to the recent xenophobia being experienced by so many people. This is not a first time. It's been ongoing for years, but it has never gotten to this level. So many South Africans have claimed Nigerians, and some other Africans are taking their job, and that's the reason why they want them out of South Africa. And when you go down memory lane, you see effort, because so many people have also been talking about the effort put in by government. In instances where Nelson Mandela to come to Nigeria, seek support, and there was a report of $61 billion being spent by Nigeria to support the fight against apartheid. And now we are facing this. Let's first start with this. How would you describe the treatment of Nigerians by South Africa?
Thank you very much. We say it's xenophobia. I don't think it's xenophobia.
Okay.
So by definition of xenophobia, whenever you display or trust or hatred of anything perceived or to any person that perceived to be foreign or strange. But what is happening, there are many other foreign now in South Africa. The Indians are there, the Europeans are there, Chinese are there, and they are not being attacked. But they only focus on the black, the Africans. So I call it African-phobia. African-phobia. Because the Indians own businesses there, a lot of Chinese are doing their business, no any attack on any foreign who are apart from the Africans. So I think it's a kind of inferiority complex. It's a kind of fear of tomorrow that does not exist. That look, out of envy, how can a black man like me be doing better than me in my own country? And this has been there for long. If you know the South Africans, immediately after the apartheid was eliminated, you know, many of them were not educated because of the issue of apartheid. Many don't have skill, they are not skilled, they have no skill. And when they now got that freedom to do and relate and do things like real Africans in their own country, they could not meet up with the demand like George and the rest of the white dominant were occupying before. So other African countries went to that country, they saw opportunities and they took control of opportunities. I mean, going to businesses, trying to meet the demand of the people. But because they were those are lazy. Remember when the first black president took over, this have been fed 3 times a day free of charge because of the situation where they are, because they are not well educated and the rest of things. So they got, you know, relaxed, and they are slowly that they don't want to do anything and they want a better life. Now Nigerians and other black Ghanaians, Zimbabweans and the rest Mozambicans took over the business. Today the small scale business, the medium scale business, they took over the business. Now they are employing the South Africans. And now first, how will somebody from a foreigner come to be employing me and be working for them? And this is where it all started. And the government did not handle it very well. Also was sympathetic with them in that area. So what I'm saying in essence is that what has happened is just toward the black foreigners, not all the foreigners there. And this has been there before, and the government failed to take action. So these are the Nigerians, for example, fought against apartheid. I mean, the Thabo Mbeki is school here in Nigeria, as we had from history. There was a time, what is his name, even Mandela himself came to Nigeria, kind of trying to for protection. So these are, you know, I think they lack history there. And the government is not doing enough to get them certified and informed that, look, you don't need to go this way. If you are feeling as if these people are taking over your business, they are kind of doing very well, this is not the way to approach it. So for me, it's a failure of government.
Okay, interesting right there. But one other thing that's also cropped up in my mind in the course of this conversation also has to do with the fact that do we have entitlement mentality? Talking about Nigerians in South Africa. Could that be the reason why they are treating us the way they are doing?
It's not about entitlement mentality. It's about having seen opportunity and taking hold of it.
Because we keep talking about the fact that we helped South Africa in the past, we provided money to support them in the fight against apartheid, we refused to go to Olympics, we refused to do business with some certain countries because of South Africa. And because of that, South Africa owes us something.
No, not in that aspect. Every Nigerian in South Africa established their business with their own money. The African government did not give them any money. All that they are doing there is by their own sweat, by their own innovation, by being able to see opportunity and take hold of it. If we look at it, the people who are really affected most are people who are the lower cadre, small business owner, the SME owner. You know what I'm saying? Those the Nigerians, foreigners who are own blue chip companies there, they are not affected. Like now, we have many of our Nigerian banks who are in South Africa. Nobody didn't go to any bank to burn it or say no, don't operate here. They only operate there in the neighborhood because they feel that look, we should have been the one running this business. We should have been the one who owning this mechanic workshop. But they are not there. They don't have the skill. So if the foreigner come to provide the services that they could not offer, that is why it's like kind of envy. It's like kind of looking inferior, you know, to a foreigner. I should live in my own land. You know, it's not that we have a title of entity. It's that Nigeria, who we are, hardworking, visionary, and always want to take opportunity. That's what we are doing there. And Nigeria, they are paying taxes. They are adding their GDP. So on that ground, like a sense of entitlement. It's that we are doing the right thing and we are making their laws.
Okay. But let's go down memory lane. I don't know whether you can say you remember that video in 1983 when Shehu Shagari was the president of Nigeria. And he talked about the fact that Ghana must go incident came up after there was a downward trend in Nigeria's economy. About 2 million residents were told to leave without illegal residents and stuff like that. But this is not besides that Nigeria, we've had instances where Ghana have told Nigerians to also leave. And in some other countries, Kenya also talked about to leave. This seems to be what is happening across so many countries in Africa.
So, you see, let's separate the shark from the wheat.
Okay.
Now, if you look at it, the time when Nigeria had Ghana must go, we were not looking for them to kill them. We were not a kind of attacking them, physical attack, burning their shop, looting their shop, whatever. It's only the Ghanaians that don't have a proper paper, well documented, who came in an illegal way, illegal migrants that were asked to go. They will have all the paper. In fact, some of them even forgot that some of them married Nigerian women or Nigerian men, and they're even forgetting that they're from Ghana. What I'm saying. It's not that we are on the street, carrying cane, carrying stick. Anywhere we see any Ghanaian, we beat him, we this and that. No, it didn't happen like that. Other places didn't have problem. Sometimes maybe area of drug, autism, and the rest. There are few, and they were able to handle it. But this is that they don't want people to see any black Mozambican, Ghanaian, a lot of anywhere you see a black man today, this is to be here. That when this thing got to the peak of it, a home market nobody could open. Because foreigners are not open. That is the problem that I have in that. Why should foreigners taking over our land? Because they are dozers. They didn't want to work. So it's not that maybe you have the right of this and that. It's that, look, these people have a foundational problem. And the government failed to solve the problem. Because if the government has taken charge, when the apartheid stopped, to try to develop them, give them technical know-how, teach them, give them skill and the rest of it. Prepare them for the future. Because they not prepare them for the future. Because let me tell you something. South Africa is one of the big economies, well developed in Africa. The demand for manpower, the demand for labor is coming. And they could not fill up. So other foreigners will come and fill the gap. And for them is a problem. And the way they can react is okay, we leave our country. And the government made it worse by saying, okay, the reason is that you are after the illegal migrants. Yeah. Then you see a policeman in the video, and immigrants that following it on the street carrying stick. You don't tackle the problem of illegal migrants by carrying stick and carrying courgette to go and say we'll kill them, we'll burn their house, we'll do their shop. No.
It should not be done by the people. It's supposed to be by the security.
Thank you very much. Now you see that it's a failure of government.
Now let's go back to the aspect of governments. Federal government precisely. This issue about xenophobia has been around for quite some time. There have been cases where a lot of people have been complaining about it. Do you think the government waited too long before taking decisive action? And do you think the effort taken by the government is a double-edged question? Is worthy enough?
The Nigerian government?
The Nigerian government, yes.
Yeah, you see, in everything, you look at diplomacy, and we solve the problem practically. The Nigerians realized lately, in other countries, that look, the government there are not trying to solve the problem. Even the opposition leader Mabela in South Africa said, look, government are conniving. Government is supporting what is happening. He came out openly and said, look, if you could see officials, police, aiding and leading the protest to go and do this, then it means that government hands is in it. If when we got to that, then Nigeria going to look in better words to say here. And you can't force everybody. Voluntary. And you volunteer to do something immediately looking at you. I've spent all my life here. I mean, I die here because if I leave it, what am I going to do at home? If I somebody has spent like 40 years in that place, have family, have grandchildren, you know, he has spent all our life, and what will you come and depend upon here? Some people remain refuse to go, but some are leaving. So I don't think the government acted lately. We judge that you, number one, you have to approach it diplomatically, and also you have to give way. If you are ready to move, you are ready to move. But I don't think it was too late.
Under late President Muhammadu Buhari, we had an agreement with South Africa about putting some certain measures in place to prevent it. But over time, the government have reneged on that agreement. Now this is cropping up again. Do you think we should take implications? People have said the South African company in Nigeria should be taken as government. That will be enough.
That will not be enough. Let me tell you a situation because one cannot make a right. During the NSAS protest, many of the Shoprite shops were looted. Some of the people could not recover, and that was Shoprite tried to say they want to leave Nigeria. If the government should take action to go after those companies like DSTV, Stanbic, and the rest of it, it will affect us. Number one, Nigerians are working there. No, if you go to those places, like now if you go to the headquarters or any DSTV location, you can't see a South African man there. They are all Nigerians. Maybe at the top, maybe the top management, you can now say some South Africans are there. So by the time you take an action against them, you're really working against yourself. They are paying taxes and they are helping your GDP. So there are other ways. Like now, the Minister of Justice in the South Africa yesterday I read the Punch where it was lamenting that their artists are losing business on African because they are canceling their show. Yeah. That's a way of attacking it, of solving something. Don't go after the blue ship something. Anywhere you see that South Africa want to come and perform this and this, put it. No, that's the way because if you go after the blue chip company by your regulation or by policy, it will affect yourself. Nigeria will lose their job. I don't know.
But what about you decide to nationalize it?
Let me tell you something.
Because we've done nationalization before in the past.
We have done it before, but not under this issue. Okay. This issue is temporary.
Okay.
It's not something that will take long. It's just that the South African government are not responsible.
Exactly.
That's why they're not responsible.
Because they cannot take approach to be working.
They are afraid of their citizens. Yeah. And they also feel that since we could not do our own problem, maybe this will solve it, they are getting it wrong. But my problem is that the EU have not really stepped into this thing. I've not seen where EU they have come into that. Look, this is not this and this and that. So I've not heard much from EU AU, sorry, for from AU in this aspect. So it look as if the AU are just those are looking at what is happening, and that should not be.
The AU mentioned that just raised a very salient point, because I listened to the Kenyan President Ruto talking about it, that the current constitution of AU at this point in time may not serve the interests of the African nations. There is a need for them to reconstitute the AU. And the issue about the xenophobia attack in South Africa has also brought that to the fore. Would you clamor for the AU to be dismembered and provide the structure?
I think that the time is now for AU to be restored, because they should have stepped in at this time. This cannot happen in Europe, and EU will not step in. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that this is the time for really to know what are we there for as African Union. Because citizens of Africa are being treated like slaves, like some in their African country. In that country, not in Europe, not in Asia.
If you bring them by the North Africans, it's probably because we are different. But these are very black Africans.
So I think the time has come for that.
Okay.
In their next summit or in their next General Assembly, I think they need to look at that aspect of it.
Now that brings us to the evacuation method adopted by the federal government. The way and manner federal government has done about it. Because you said something very cogent. And some people may have spent about 14 years in South Africa, and they look like, what am I coming back to Nigeria to do? But for some who have decided to come back to Nigeria, how do government be able to bring them back into society, get them fixed up in something? So because the first batch that came here, I think about 268, and more are still coming. Because I heard the federal government have made available to bring more people. Close to 1,000 people will be coming back. Yeah. And you can know the massive influx of 1,000 people coming in. Let's say, for instance, Abuja or some other places. How do we get them back into the system so they not become a menace to the society?
That is a very good question. The federal government and the subnationals have to be involved, because these people come from a route, from their village, local government, from the state, up to the federal. So at the federal government and bring them back, if you have something to be from the Ministry of Humanitarian something, you should be able to do a lot in that aspect. So I'm saying the Ministry of Women Affairs, the women aspect, they have a program for that. Then also the SME, that is MEDA, those who are serious of it, that's a lot to do. Then Ministry of Youth and Development now has a lot to do in that aspect. Then I'm going to the state, like some state governors have responded. Like I think the Senator maybe about is it 10 million or whatever, you give to every one of them to start a life. So there are all the senators, House of Reps, who are within the area where these people are. If the local government chairmen and chairleaders, they need to work on it. So it's all has involved everybody. And even the community leader, because don't castigate them. Don't say, why did you go? We tell you not to go. You have come back now. You know, that's not the stigma. That's what I'm saying. So we should see that our brother and sister, bring them back. To see, look, they should not regret coming back to Nigeria. Look at me now, like I'm from fire to fire. That's what I'm saying. So I think all those want to be thinking. So it should not be a burden on the federal government alone. So the subnational, the state, and all those things. And where to do Nigeria. Like, look at the time, the first one evacuation, this prominent airliner, what is it? Earpiece. Yeah. Carry them free. Yeah. So there are people from those communities that are well to do. On humanitarian grant, they can take over some responsibility that look from this community, maybe give them employment, give them skill and create an environment for them to start life again. So it involves everybody. Well-meaning Nigeria, civil organization and humanitarian, and even some development organization like UNICEF, IOM, and all those areas, refugee, they can be involved in this because it's really affected.
Okay. But this has also bring us back to one issue. Despite this treatment from South Africa, and not only South Africa, in some other countries in Europe, we've seen where Nigerians have been treated badly. People live in it. And that brings us back to the policy of government. If people are comfortable in their country, they will definitely not want to leave. Could we not think that the policy of government do also have a role in why people are living indoors?
You see, people leaving their country to another place, you can look back to the ancient times.
Yeah.
It's not something you can stop.
Yeah.
Today, some Americans are in America.
Yeah.
Even where people are rushing to go.
Yeah.
In Canada, some of Canada are another country.
Yeah.
Today, one of the, I think it's only Kuwait and Saudi Arabia that still hardly leave, and some other countries. The other, number one, people leave the country because of greener pasture.
Yeah.
Some of them leave because of exposure to add knowledge. So there are a lot of reasons that people leave.
Yeah.
Some people leave because of hardship. Oh, I could not do this and that.
But the bulk of the people living in Nigeria are living because of hardship.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Which is worrisome.
It's worrisome. Now, it is for us to start to look inward, for the government, like subnational and the rest of it, to see how we can make life better. Policy that will encourage people to really invest. Like now, small scale businesses should be encouraged. We should make power available for people that will start. Just like now, you want to start the Bible business now, you have not put the cost of generator into your budget, you cannot even survive as a business. So these are the things that the government needs to look at to make life easy. Then access to loan. You know, like now, there has been an improvement. I don't know if it happened to you, but it happens to me that every day I hear banks calling me, you can take like 10 million without collateral, because they will look at your turnover. But many Nigerians, let me tell you, do not put their money in the bank. That's a problem, even as a business. Some today, they have a business name they register. They want to buy something from them, they give them their personal account. That's not helping. Because any bank that want to give you loan will look at your turnover. How have you been performing? And based on that, they will say, okay, this month turnover in a year has been like 50 million. If you give me a loan of 10 million, 5 million, we know you'll be able to pay. So I'm saying, but as the turnover increases, the bank supports you. So I'm saying that these are the things. So you have to do some level of orientation. And that also our education also be looked into. Many people we turn out graduates who only have certificates and no skills. You know what I'm saying? If you are training job people to be employed, you have many unemployed graduates on the street. They train people to start something on their own. That is what we have in China today. Many of the things you are seeing in China, like all these things you are seeing, this cover of this phone, is not from a blue chip company. Household, family business, are doing it. So if we see the orientations, the syllabus of our education system, so see people being self-employed, it will only help us.
Interesting right there. Before I let you go, looking at the whole thing and the effort we made by federal government going forward, how should we treat our relationship with African countries?
Number one is that we need to talk about ourselves as Nigeria. As we are going to other countries, go with the right paper. That is key. Because the excuse the South African government is giving is that they are only after illegal migrants, undocumented migrants. And they can't do that by carrying cordel, by carrying stick, by looting their shop. So they are hiding under that. Before you leave the country, make sure you hide your paper. When you get there, get to the embassy. Make sure that part documentation of your stay there. That is Nigeria. Number two, let's have good behavior. So the time you have problem with UAE, Dubai, when openly their people are Nigeria carry cutlass and guns, courtesan, fighting in open in the court afternoon. It really costs us many things. We are listening with the UAE, then you are able to solve the problem. So Nigeria also should be in India today. Every Nigerian is not a drug dealer. If you enter India today, they are saying you that you are coming, you are coming with drugs, or you are coming to, they say yes. That is bad for us. So let's also make that a good image for Nigeria. So that by the time you go there as a good citizen, as a good ambassador of Nigeria, in wherever you find yourself, the government can really come and stand for you. That's what I'm saying. So the citizens have a lot to do. And the government also should not leave Nigeria because they are okay, leave them alone. You ask them to go there. Why is they going? No. we should see that we defend the right of every Nigerian.
I must say big thank you to you, Engineer Libyenga, for joining us this morning and talking about the xenophobia issue in South Africa and the effort needed for federal government to evacuate Nigerian citizens from their country and ensure they come back home safe and be able to assimilate them into the system. Now we'll be moving over to our Lagos studio, where also the conversation continue on This Morning on ITV.
Many thanks to you. We're still on CMI this beautiful morning on ITV from our Lagos Network studio. Thank you so much. Of course, I have Dr. Victor Ohai here with me. We would be doing this together. Dr. Victor, good morning.
Good morning.
Trust you're good.
I'm very good.
Okay, our guest this morning that would help us talk more on today's topic is Honorable Said Ajadi. He is an Accord chieftain. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you so much for coming.
Very.
All right, we saw that the court ordered the registration of ADC, Accord, and other parties, what it means for Nigerians' politics. A major political development emerged as a federal high court in Abuja reportedly ordered the deregistration of 5 political parties: the African Democratic Congress, ADC, the Accord Party, Action Alliance Party, Action People's Party, and Zenith Labour Party. The court held that the parties failed to meet constitutional electoral performances requirements and directed INEC to deregister them. The question is, why allow them go do their primaries if you know you're going to, if you're going to order INEC to deregister them? Of course, like I said earlier, we have Honorable Said Ajadi. He would help us talk more on this topic. Okay, before we move to Honorable Said Ajadi, Dr. Victor, hi.
It's interesting. Let me just recount a little bit of my experience. Okay. When we ran in 2019, I ran for the presidency, one of the new parties at the time. Immediately afterwards, of course, the parties were registered that same year, and I felt they should have given them a chance, to be able to grow. But they were deregistered immediately after the elections, not giving, which was sad, really. And it is shocking to hear that there are parties that have not met those requirements for some years now, and they've still been there. But the question you asked, which is that why now? Why did they allow?
After primaries.
After primaries, I guess while probably INEC was sleeping on resting on their oars, somebody decided to activate the books and do it. But as we move along, I don't think it's all the parties that have that, because we do have parties, obviously, not all. ADC, for instance.
Okay.
Honorable Abejide, for instance, won and has been winning. The fact that he defected just recently, less than 2 months ago, doesn't mean that they have that mandate. But if they say because he has defected, then obviously it means Accord cannot be deregistered because an elected governor has also been there. I'm just creating a balance, but we'll listen to
Honorable Said. Let's get to hear you.
I beg your pardon. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning once again.
There has not been an elected governor.
No,
he's an aspiring governor.
Say?
I take that again.
Okay.
There has not been an elected governor. There is an aspiring governor.
No, here's my argument.
Okay, what's that?
So that you take it. I'm saying that Honorable Abejide was elected
under
ADC.
Okay.
So if he has been elected under ADC,
yes. For what? For what?
House of Reps. So, no, let me finish.
This dispensation?
Yes, this current one. Okay. He just defected about last month or 2 months ago.
Okay.
So, if the argument is, and you have your floor, you will see what you want to say. But if the argument is that he was elected and he has defected, so maybe you say ADC has no candidate. Even if we don't know any other one, we now know one. So, if he defected, I say on that ground that ADC cannot, therefore, if somebody has defects into accord, we cannot now therefore say, it means therefore there's an elected person there. But
everybody has been defecting.
Yes.
So defection at the point of the law stands. It's a law that guides the whole parties, not just one. So it's a good thing you raised that. If he was elected this dispensation,
yes,
and he has moved away from that party that gave him the mandate,
the mandate is the party's mandate.
Is gone. There's no mandate in ADC.
Then what about Accord?
He has moved to Accord,
yes,
and yet to be elected.
No. There's no election yet. So
there
the
has to be an election.
There's a future election.
A future election.
Yes.
And so it means that there's no mandate yet. It's hanging in the air because a lot of governors. Okay, look at Adeleke for instance.
Yes.
Adeleke has moved from PDP to Accord now.
Yes.
He has lost his mandate being in Accord. Because if Accord is to be deregistered, Adeleke cannot be contesting the next election. So it's about now. It's not about the past.
Okay.
That's the law.
So let's get your take on this, the registration.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm a member of Accord.
Okay. You're still a member.
I am a chieftain of Accord.
Before we came on, you say you were, but go ahead.
I have to tell you how it went. The synopsis of yesterday and where we are today, based on your question.
Yes, go ahead.
As a registration is going on, I am not more a member of Accord because there's no Accord.
You're no longer a member of Accord.
How can I be a member of a registered party?
Because I feel you just defected now. I mean, you
the law of the land is saying that there's no more Accord.
Okay.
How will I call myself a member of a party that has been deregistered? That's the law.
So
it's not INEC. INEC will have to follow the law of the land, which is a court that gave that verdict. It's not INEC. Because from what I see clearly, a judge gave a verdict, a judgment on the Constitution of the Federal Republic and what governs political parties. This is where we are today, based on lack of experience and lack of knowledge. A lot of us are very ignorant people. We might go to school, but we're not schooled. You have to understand basic things of Nigeria now to know the way forward. You might go to school and not be schooled. There's so many graduates today that are not schooled.
In other words, you are happy with the deregistration of
Accord. Because the reality is that you cannot have today without yesterday.
Tell us about yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's the day. That's my day today.
Go ahead.
Good. We were in PDP, 2010. Adelabu was a problem in Oyo State. Ladoja, Yekini Adeojo, and everybody insisted we move to Accord. So there was a declaration at Gbagi. The Gbagi declaration in Ibadan at 2010 was to move to Accord. Because I had contested election in PDP against Adedubu's son, I became a leader. So I was hobnobbing with your leaders and your guards. So we're there at the podium. And we declared. 3 months after, there was an election for 2011. We won House of Assembly 7 seats. House of Rep.
As Accord.
As Accord in other states. Because we're formidable and we were a broomstick that we won.
With Ladoja.
With Ladoja. Unfortunately, Ladoja was subjugated because of his wives.
When you say wives, are you speaking
I'm using that word. I am not metaphorical. I'm telling you my experience. Wives.
As in Iaonde,
First lady,
second lady,
and all of that.
Okay.
So they had candidates.
Okay.
They had interest.
Okay.
So before you can be a candidate, you have to have passed the test of the primaries of Ladoja's house.
Wives.
So 2010 went. I was given House of Rep. I rejected. Pastor Sheson was crying at 1 a.m. in Ladoja's house. I said, I don't need House of Rep. I have fought guns and cutlass in PDP against Adedubu's son. And you know, sir, why are you giving me House of Rep? Because my aunt, who is his first lady, had already told me, House of Rep, no my phone. It's not money.
Do you regret it?
I'm not regretting. I tell you why.
Okay.
There are 320 plus 600, 360 something House of Rep members. You need to pass bills. They are not just there to collect salaries and allowances. Okay, so how do you pass bills? So you need 240, which is 2/3 of that seat. As a first greyhound, how do you do that?
People have done it.
Thank you. Very few.
You didn't think you were capable?
I have analyzed. No. I thought I was capable. But my plan, I want to analyze to you today. Good. I contested Senate in PDP 4 years before.
Did you get the ticket?
I didn't get the ticket.
Okay.
And there was no election. Because I didn't brought in guns and cutlasses to the field. And I was the target. Because I changed the dynamics. He had gotten the ballot and the Akara and 509 in his house on Friday. But when I got to the seat, I told them we are going to fight it out. I'm not afraid of anybody. So there was no election. And I petitioned Abuja. Abuja came on Monday. They came with their dogs again. I was there and I told them, this is me. I mean, I don't look at anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I'm here to serve. There was no election and you gave your son's name as the winner of what?
You mean no primaries?
There was no primaries in PDP.
Okay.
So PDP was a sham. That's why I left. And I knew PDP was going to implode because it was a waste of time of 16 years. Okay, so we started Accord, thinking that we had a new baby. Okay, so give us the opportunity to prove ourselves in a short time. I need 25 people in the Senate.
So you were part of the people that started Accord?
Yes.
Okay.
To start the bills pumping in. I can pass as much as 10, 20 bills in the Senate because I need 25 people. Everybody's sleeping. First bagger, second bagger. I'm going with what I want to do. I don't need 2 terms, just 1 term because I want to be an executive. There's a lot of lacuna where we have to fix. So when Seyi Makinde became the governor, I was excited. Young man. Do you understand? Let's not criticize. Let's see how it works for us. Ladoja left Accord. We stood. We financed Accord. The people we put in positions of authority like Adebukola Ajaja held us to ransom. In 2019, we were in Lanlate, Eruwa, Igogo, Idere, till 4 a.m. on a Wednesday, and Adebukola Ajaja was announcing in Ibadan that we are not contesting the election anymore. And we had financed to that level.
When you say election, you mean primaries?
No, I've become a candidate.
Oh, you're already a candidate, okay.
So we're campaigning. You know, going all around the place with... they're talking about bandits. We made all kinds of stuff then, but we're not afraid.
Including spirits.
Yes, I mean, my God. Yes, I've been to a campaign that I had to use my umbrella to lock the bonnet of the car when the bonnet smashed my windscreen. And I still went there. They were all shocked to see me. Ladoja went for a burial.
Yes.
After Eruwa in a village and saw my posters after I rejected my candidature.
Wow.
And said, so this boy has gotten to this level. But I told him, I said, Bayo Lawal will not go against Engineer Lalei, their cousins. Give us a chance to prove ourselves. Give that woman Ajaja with the mark. Give her the House of Rep. She will win and we'll come back to celebrate. Because we know what we are capable of doing in our own territory. To prove to you that we have popularity. And we did. And 7 a.m. I was in his house. I said, I was 32 when I challenged Adedubu. With guns and cutlass. Tokyo and all of them standing. And I told him this is what I want to do. And he said, from nowhere. Teslim Folani was a Senate leader when I was challenging their seats. They were there seated. And I told them, this is what I'm coming to do. He said, from nowhere you got... And I said, because it's my time to come. All I want to do is serve. I don't need Nigeria's money. I'm okay. And I'm not going anywhere with any money. So what is the point? But let me serve. See the difference between us and them. Then we know what we're talking about. That's how I started politics. And where is Adedubu now? I'm still standing.
Is that over?
Adedubu is gone.
Oh, sorry, Adedubu is sorry. Yes, Adedubu.
Where is his dynasty in Ibadan now? It's totally gone. Because he didn't do right by us.
Yes.
So, Honorable Said,
that's the point of tomorrow.
Honorable Said.
That's the difference between APC and other parties now.
Honorable Said,
I'll talk about
the way you're sounding or the way you're speaking, it seems you're excited about this whole thing. Like you've been expecting it to happen. I mean, some other political parties, you know, when this whole thing came out, like sure, they came out to say this is not done. You're not supposed to do this. But you seems, I mean, you're an accord chieftain. You just said you're leaving the party. So I was actually expecting.
It's not about me now. It's about the law. They are saying that the registration.
Like I said, Honorable Said, sorry, let me land.
Fantastic.
Honorable Said, let me land, please. You know, at some point, like I said, I'm just using Sowore as an example. You know, he came out is trying to fight for the party. Right. And I believe Atiku Abubakar and Rotimi Amechi, you know, as the vice president, they would not sit down, you know, allow the party just go like that. Yeah. But you, with the way you're sounding...
You are mentioning those names and we're going to talk about them. I didn't want to talk about them.
You don't want to talk about them. So what I'm saying...
I didn't want to go there as a court.
Honorable Said...
But now I have to go there because you mentioned them.
You need to go there. What I'm saying now is... It seems you've been expecting this whole thing. Oh, now that it comes, okay, you just want to switch. Unlike all of these other persons, they are like fighting, you know, fighting the INEC, fighting the court. That okay, at this point, you cannot just deregister a party like that. But like you, what you're saying now is, oh, I've been expecting this thing is going to happen. Okay, now
the same way I left PDP. Let me save your time. It's the law. You see, you are a woman. You're going to get married. Before you get married, you probably will have toasters and people that want to woo you to be your husband or your lover or something. You're going to have them because you're a beautiful woman. Yeah? But you're going to choose one.
Of course.
So the reality is where we are in politics. I have been in accord. I left PDP. The form that I bought to contest Senate, I cannot buy 20 naira. I will say it outside. But I bought it to prove myself to my mates and the generation coming now who are in their 30s that there is hope for Nigeria. If I stand and I succeed from nowhere, other people will stand tomorrow and succeed from nowhere. That's what I did. So I left being working with federal government. On the day of my primaries with PDP, I was given a house and a new car. I rejected it. How about that? My staff, my secretary, Abdullahi, was calling me from Abuja. Oh God, they are giving. I said, no, I resigned. Abdullahi, I'm coming back to Abuja as a senator. I said, oh God, you mean all those things you are going? I said, I've done it already. Today you are calling me. I am on the floor of Olubado Stadium in front of Adedu. We say, oh God. And I cut the phone. I'm not joking with Nigeria. I've paid my dues. I've suffered. When my friends were in business, I was trying to do politics. I'm a very business-savvy person, and I believe in Nigeria. But I said to you, we must salvage this country. I was working under Atiku Abubakar. You mentioned Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar is a waste of time. And a waste of 16 years. They have their names in the book of history. My book is coming out soon. We're going to discuss it here. They have had their day in time. They've wasted their time. They have ruined the future. That's why you see Nigerians coming today and being slaves, harlots, all over Africa and Europe. Young girls in Libya, young girls in Malaysia. Go anywhere in the world, you see Nigerians in prisons, drug, all of that. We can change dynamics. If I serve properly, not like Atiku Abubakar that sold Akotileta. Akotileta Latiku at Obasanjo.
Okay, so
they took all our assets and sold them. Akotileta ni won. We are businessmen. If there is problem, go and listen to Otedola. Otedola had problem. Hold on, please. Otedola had problem and he was bankrupt. He sold all his assets to a man. You were not bankrupt as Nigeria. You sold all our own assets to win us. That's why we don't have anything today. So you are blaming this government of today, asking for loans. In basic economics, O.A. Lawal from 4. Sir, please, you're a doctor. You cannot function without some things. Under Buhari's 8 years, Buhari was borrowing to pay salaries. We're not doing that now because things have changed. It's called a reform. Okay, you're going to have to pay through your nose. But those likes of Atiku and Abubakar and Mechi and all of them, they're a waste of time because they've been tested.
Sorry, please.
And we have seen the results.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important to state at this point that the opinions you have presented
that's my own opinion.
Are strictly yours.
That's what I'm saying.
Not of the station.
Not of the station.
Yeah, so that's fine. So
you called me here to talk.
No, I know.
I'm talking on behalf of
I know. So it's important to state that.
Please.
Yeah. But just circling back to where we are.
We have records of Nigeria, mind you. El-Rufai was the superintendent where we sold all our property.
No, I know.
An issue.
Those are not the issues we're talking about. We'll have a day where we'll talk about corruption in government and all of that.
Okay, so
I will be happy to invite you.
You use the word corruption, so we don't need the people like that.
No, I'm saying we're not. I said the day we will talk about corruption, we'll invite you.
Fantastic.
What we're talking about now is the matter at hand.
Thank you.
So can we look at these various parties? You've spoken about Accord. You've talked about
our leader left in 2015.
PDP. Yes.
And was trying to give him a chairman of PDP back again. I told him that day. That was the last time I saw him.
No, I don't understand what you're...
Our leader, Obaladoja.
Yes.
When he was going to leave Accord.
Yes.
There were rumors of all kinds of stuff that he was going to be giving chairman of PDP back. You know, he was one of the founding members of PDP before we left. And I went to him, I said, Oga, they're just going to make you are a formidable leader. Don't ruin the career because history will talk. We are behind you. Okay. I'm not going to come back for all this play anymore. And since that day, I've not gone to him.
Okay, so, but that was not the question.
And that's why we are in Accord, to set up Accord. And sitting down in front of you is Accord.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Accord.
Yes,
so
because
the
I've
issue
invested
here,
a lot of money in
I
Accord.
do get that, and I feel your pain as well. But she asked a question at the beginning, and your answer was, is a law, is a law. But I want us to dig
further.
Yes, a little deeper. Take away your anger.
No,
with
it's okay.
just I understand. You've expressed yourself. But let's look at it a bit more objectively, because Accord is not the only party involved. There's ADC, there's Shore's party is affected too, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
AA also, what's the name of the party? And then Zenith Labour Party and the rest of them. Is this really healthy for our democracy? You know, registering, deregistering, considering that if you look at the way parties are structured, imagine if we had only two parties. And from hearing you, the Baba Sokwe type of politics, even you have been a victim. So when exactly
Accord, but I
our
remain
parties,
loyal to wherever I am.
our parties are not necessarily driven by ideology.
Precisely.
But they are driven more by interests, or they are mainly special purpose vehicles for winning elections or for achieving our dreams as aspirants or so.
Let me give you my instance of
you will come to that
again.
You will add it, but let me just ask a question. So the point I'm making is, if we were restricted to just one party or two party, how will good candidates have a chance? How will they emerge? You were able to go to an Accord when PDP under Adedibu emasculated you. Okay, so what is wrong in allowing these parties? I understand, though, Section 225, I think, of the Constitution
states,
you know, clearly there that you must win at least, whether it's local government, councillorship, chairmanship, but local government.
That's the essence of politics.
I'm not arguing, sorry, please. I'm just preparing the ground. You talk. So now I do understand that, but I mean, they slept on all this. Not of that happen. How does that really help Nigeria's peculiar type of democracy? I'm underlining the word peculiar, and if it was written, it would be bold, maybe in italics, where if you may be in a party and if the leaders don't like your face, no matter how good you are, you don't stand a chance.
Precisely.
And then if there are no alternatives, how will democracy thrive?
The first word, thank you, is that politics is a game, irrespective of individual ambitions. You choose to be in a party. You know what the people that are there stand for before you join them.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. So results of that, you have to bear. I chose to be in PDP because it was the winning party and I was going on, I was very young. And I said to myself, the only way that is quickest to the top is to be amongst them. Act like a fool until you have power. Get what you need and expose what you plan. That was the plan for PDP. It wasn't that I wanted to be with Atiku Abubakar or Obasanjo at that time. But I needed to achieve my goal for Nigeria, to serve quickly before I die. So I said PDP. And I asked God. And he said, go ahead. That's why I didn't die, because they tried to kill me, but I'm here today. Okay, moving to Accord. Accord was the next level because we felt that we had the same kind of progressive thoughts. We can push things forward and we had the people behind us. So I was willing to sacrifice. I was not given the ticket. Bayo Lawal was given the ticket, which is Ladoja's boy. I was given House of Rep. And I told them, Bayo Lawal cannot contest against me or the person that I'm supposed to take out in PDP because I've done my job. Anyway, I was not given the ticket. I still supported Ladoja as my governor. All the souvenirs and everything bought and posters, billboard, all of that. Millions of naira to prove to our leader that we are loyal and to prove to our party that we are loyal. Self is secondary, irrespective of choices of leadership. So I demonstrated that. We remain in Accord. 2015, I realized that there were so many Sanko fans around him. I needed to talk to him before the election. So I asked for a meeting in Lagos to meet with him so that we can get it right in Accord. And we spoke from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. He gave me 2 crates of quail eggs in his house in Apapa. And he tested me before coming downstairs, asking me for breakfast. And I said, I'm not here for food. Until he came down and said he was testing me to know, am I really prepared for it? I'm here.
So if I
had eaten, I'm not going to be able to discuss with him.
Wow.
That was my test for that morning from my Oga. So a very sound man. And I was prepared for him. So he told me the history of governorship and Obasanjo. And I was like, yes. And I asked, the only thing I'm here for is because I can't speak with you in Bodija. But I can speak with you here. It's only the ocean that is in front of you and I. And God being our witness. Okay, let the best and the most populous candidate win and contest. We need to win the same way we won in 2011. And he agreed with me. And I told someone, come on, let me teach him how to. And he taught me so many things that morning. His lifestyle and all of it. And gave me experience and examples. So I took 2 cartons of quail eggs that he gave me. I went out. And we had an guy, shook hands, and I left. When we paid, they started picking candidates. We're not going to primaries again. I went to his house. They were shouting in front of his house on a Monday morning. I'm Abjole. Ogawani. I calmed the nerves down. Thousands of people outside. But he didn't give you money. This is our party. It's not about me. This is what he wants. We will talk to him and he will listen. My suggestion is that if he's not going to do primaries, he will give us back our money immediately. And I went inside. I talked to him and he agreed. Give everybody back their money. And they gave all the contestants back their money. I didn't collect mine. I gave it to the party. And I signed the letter. I told my secretary, right, so bring it to me in his house. And I signed. And I gave the states. Take, give the party. Give him the local government, my words. To prove another point, it's not about money. And I told him, sir, He was wearing goggles the same way I was wearing goggles on Monday morning. Oga, I'm going to Lagos. I have work to do. Whatever you have decided, leave them back their money. And I left. That was the conclusion with him. 2015. And so we didn't have the same success we had in 2011. And I told him, almost a governor is not a governor. He's not now. So let's be realistic about it.
So everything you did was not for money?
I'm okay, madam. Then you're right.
I'm just asking questions.
I don't money. My parents gave me good quality education. My parents gave me the best of holidays. Every summer I'm in London. Every summer I am in London. I spend money for the white man, and they call me sir as young as 13 years of age. So it's not about money. It's about what can we bring back to the society to show the people coming that there is a standard to be met and to be surpassed.
You know,
by people behind me.
You know,
so that's what I did to him. And today I can stand and be bold that in 2019 I paid accord again, and I took care of all the primaries. Me. In 2019. And in 2023, I still stood, even with all they did to me in 2019, because they ruined my chances by going on air because of Seyi Makinde. They went to collect money from Seyi Makinde against me and finish my career. In 2023, I knew I was going to be killed. I was in Dubai. I saw it. If I wanted to contest on that accord again, because I was a pain to everybody. And I did.
You contested?
Yes, the day I went to pick up my form was the day they poisoned me.
Wow.
And I vomited from night till morning. In the hotel room, when they came the next morning, they found 3 bags of vomit. And the guy was shocked. And you are still standing. I said, because I'm prepared. The owner of the universe had told me you are going to die today. So if you prepare against it, that's the way you are going to be saved. You say you want to serve. These are the rules of the game. Okay. So we've seen that. We've wasted money. We've gaslighted cash big time. We're not afraid. Because tomorrow, a lot of unknown faces will be glad that we stand.
All right, Honorable Said.
Unknown.
Honorable
I don't want to know anybody. But Nigeria. For as long as we are alive, we will straighten it. It will be very straight. We have enjoyed Nigeria.
Honorable Said,
I've gone to London with 100 naira. I've gone to America with 150 naira in this country. And someone sold that kind of property. And you expect me to keep quiet. And I have children.
Honorable Said, Nigeria will be great again. We hope so.
By the grace of God.
You know, election is just by the corner next year, yeah. And what a lot of persons are saying is, you know, not at this point, you know, you have to deregister some parties.
The laws must be
followed. I mean, election is just by the corner. Okay, and another thing is, why would they allow them?
Be straightened by the law of the land. He said in his first statement, it happened to him personally. Timing now is even on timing then. But the reality stands. It is not today that INEC has been deregistering.
But you've not said what it means to democracy.
Exactly.
That
to the
It
question.
is better.
No.
It's better.
I want
for
you to answer that.
democracy.
No,
That's what I want to answer now.
Okay,
let
great.
me answer that.
Yes.
That's why I'm happy. It affects me directly. It affects 15 years of my life. I've just reiterated my past, my synopsis to you. That's my life. That's my hard-earned cash. But I know with such laws, politicians will sit right. You know, if you notice, INEC said that outnumbering is reducing because of the timetable now. You can't be contesting in one party and move to another party and still contest that election. Now, you can't do that anymore. But in 2023, Adelabu did it to me. So I'm happy things that are happening now. I have experienced all this kind of rubbish. Adelabu lost election Wednesday.
Adedibu or
Adelabu,
Yeah.
Adelabu, former minister.
Okay, yes. Of power.
Of power. Lost election on a Wednesday in APC primaries. And I was told to step down for him on Saturday morning in my own primaries.
So he went to Accord?
He went to Accord, and I did not even know that he was even seated in the stadium in his dark car, only for the chairman to call me and tell me INEC was seated. Chairman, commissioner of INEC was there.
Is that why you're bitter?
Yeah,
it's not about being bitter.
No, I mean, because...
I'm not bitter. I am telling you, you are asking questions. And I'm giving you personal experience of the question.
I understand that.
There's nothing to be bitter about. Because I had a meeting with him, and I spoke with him. You want to win an election. You have lost before. He said I was abusing him. I said, I'm not abusing you. You have lost. But if you want to win now, these are the rules of the game you must follow to win. I have finished my own job. If I'm given the chance, I will take out Sheyi. I know what I will do, and I know how I'm going to move around Oyo State. For you now, you have just lost on Wednesday.
I think we should pick our words carefully. What you actually mean is that you will overthrow Sheyi.
Take out means that he will not be the next governor.
So I just for clarity, so that you have an opportunity to...
Strategy is what I use. It is intellectual revolution. It's not about kinetics. I'm not a member of kinetics. I can never encourage kinetics. Kinetics is for the military. If I was a military man, I would not be contesting here. So the guns and cutlass was brought against me, and I left the stadium. The deputy governor was there under Adedubu. But my own people, I didn't have a gun. I didn't have a cutlass.
So what party are you in now?
That's the question you need to ask. That's a very fantastic question.
Maybe you should tell us on air so we know. Because, I mean, I just introduced
the best
Accord.
established party in Nigeria now is APC.
Oh.
Because let me give you the reason why I believe APC should be I'll give you. Let me tell you why.
Honorable Said.
ANPP, NNPP, APGA, ADC merged into one. Why? They knew they could not do it alone. That's the strategy of life. Working together. They formed a formidable force. Today is history. Why? Because we have seen it happening successfully. When I was asking for support under Accord, I was the only person standing. Ladoja had left Accord.
You became a traditional ruler.
We know it just last year.
Yes.
I'm talking about 10 years. There was a lacuna. So the person that I put in House of Rep now became the challenger and albatross of the party. Adebukola Ajada. She was the secretary of the party in Abuja, still wanting to control the party in Oyo State. So we came in a situation of wanting to eat your cake and have it. As a candidate, I don't have too much right to be interfering in party politics. That's why I said APC. If you look at the people that have been governors after President Tinubu, they have not been politicians.
Is this game
technocrats?
Yes. Is
So
this
it's not a
game
game.
healthy? Yeah. No, you say it's a game.
It's a
Politics. Yes. Is this game healthy for us if at the end of the day all we're going to have is one man standing because the way it's going,
It's always
It's becoming a one party system.
It's like this under PDP. Maybe we are having amnesia.
I don't get it.
Thank you. We are forgetting. Nigerians forget things easily. We are having 32 states under APC now. Under PDP, there were 26 states controlled. PDP was boasting they are going to rule forever.
No, they didn't say forever. They said the next 60 years.
I'll use Yoruba language.
And please interpret for our viewers.
Sheyi, Komashi Sosokoto Baba Senobu. You are saying 60 years. I would have been dead in 60 years.
But even if you say 2 days, somebody will still die.
No, we have to play it. I would have been dead in 60 years. I'm not the creator of my soul.
For some people, 2 days is forever.
So the owner of the soul knows when the time will come.
Sure.
However, 16 years for a man that wants to come back and become a president that gave $16 billion contract and said on air We gave them 100% contracts, but nothing functioned. What are you coming back to? $16 billion. See, I won't kid you. If the president today comes back and he wants to leave, I will contest. Because I have what it takes.
Sorry, I don't get you.
Thank you. I'm speaking parables of future.
Interpret.
Good. If this, you've contested presidency before.
Yes.
We must get to that position because we see a lot of cowards that are not challenged enough to save Nigeria.
True.
I don't believe in failure. Nigeria is not a failure.
We are actually out of time.
Nigeria is not a failed state. It is lack of leadership, and one person cannot do it alone. We have to support our president to succeed, irrespective of the party he is.
Okay, Honorable.
He has sworn on oath for Nigeria, not for APC. So the argument about this APC that is ruling, are you not a Nigerian? Where is your patriotic lineage? If you have something for Nigeria, give it to us. I have a lot of things for Nigeria.
Okay.
I've demonstrated one. I told you on air the last time. I'm not going to repeat myself. We are working on things now for Nigeria, irrespective of being in a position of authority. Private sector. That is, we are going to revolutionize Nigeria.
Honorable Sir, we are out of
so
time.
let us face reality.
Thank you so much.
Serve Nigeria.
Thank you.
Help Nigeria.
Thank you.
And love Nigeria.
Thank you.
Serve Nigeria.
Help Nigeria.
Help Nigeria. Save Nigeria. Whatever.
Love Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Sir.
And please, the issue of insecurity is not the government. It is us.
So I think we're going to talk about that some other time.
We can talk about it
because we're out of time.
We're already out of time.
So you Honorable Said, are you saying I should no longer,
address him as an accord chieftain?
There's no
accord.
There's no accord.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't want, I can't be labeled for that. You see, because
it will be appealed.
Exactly. When you appeal and it's overturned,
then you go back.
Then we can. I just told you.
You have left.
You've left.
Okay, on that note, we're about to leave as well.
Okay. Yeah, we're actually out of time.
So
thank you so much.
Yes. The pleasure is mine always. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all our viewers. Thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, Lagos, for joining our Lagos Network studio this beautiful morning on CMI. I am Marcelina Unko. We'll be handing over to our Benin Network studio for the continuation on CMI. Just stay with us.
A very beautiful morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the news update. I'm Lawrence Osifo. The Edo State House of Assembly on Monday cleared Dr. Washington Osifo, who recently served as the Edo State Commissioner for Water Resources and Sanitation, to rejoin Governor Monday Ukpebholo's cabinet as a commissioner designate. Assembly correspondent Joy Obarasiagmo reports that during plenaries, lawmakers condemned the abduction of a woman at a vegetable market in Benin City on Sunday as they resumed from a long break.
After 1 month-long recess, lawmakers are now done with their various party primary elections and are back to resume legislative duties. Speaker of the 8th Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, opened proceedings by expressing sympathy to members who did not secure tickets for re-election in the forthcoming 2027 elections. While congratulating those who did, he condemned the Sunday abduction incident at a vegetable market on Airport Road in Benin City, urging the public to remain safety conscious.
As a house, and the governor will condemn what happened in the market yesterday, where the woman was taken away by some marauders. So I want us to be comfortable about our security.
Lawmakers also received a request from Governor Monday Okpebholo seeking consideration and confirmation of additional commissioner nominees, Rebecca Kayode Johnson and Dr. Washiti Osao-Sifo, to join the State Executive Council. The first letter of request for Kayode Johnson was referred to the Committee on Rules and Business for further legislative action, while the Majority Leader Jonathan Ivamao moved a motion for immediate clearance of Dr. Washiti Osao-Sifo, who recently served as Edo State Commissioner for Water Resources and Sanitation under Governor Okpebholo. The motion was seconded by Honorable Kesi Osamoyi, member representing Owode constituency, and Dr. Washiti Osifo were subsequently cleared.
The nominee, Dr. Washiti Osifo, has been cleared by this.
From the Edo State House of Assembly, Joy Obarasiagmo, ITV News.
The Edo State Police Command has assured residents of Benin City of the safe rescue of Mrs. Precious Ofure Osegale. Mrs. Osegale was abducted on Sunday morning at the vegetable market of Airport Road in Benin City. Jonah Omorowa has the details.
Giving update on the abduction of Mrs. Precious Ofure Osegale, the Edo State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Eno Ikendem, said the Commissioner of Police has ordered a discreet investigation into the matter and assured of her safe rescue.
The Commissioner of Police, CP Monday Agbonika FDC, has ordered for the immediate and discreet investigation into this matter to unravel the circumstances surrounding this incident, rescue the victim, and also apprehend the perpetrators of this crime.
Residents and traders at the vegetable market of Airport Road, Benin City, are yet to recover from the shock of the abduction of Mrs. Precious Ofure Osegale, who was at the market with her family members to purchase food items. The suspected abductors fired gunshots into the air while fleeing the scene with their victims, a situation that caused traders, passerby, and even some police officers reportedly present in the area to scamper for safety. From Benin, Jonah Omowa, ITV News.
Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo has condemned the kidnapping incident reported at the vegetable market along Airport Road in Benin City. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Dr. Patrick Ahere Ebujeli, the State Governor described the attack as unacceptable and a direct assault on innocent citizens and residents, assuring citizens that the administration will not tolerate any act capable of threatening public safety or disrupting the peace of Edo State. Governor Okpebholo directed the Edo State Commissioner of Police to launch an immediate and coordinated investigation into the incidents with a mandate to secure and rescue the victims and apprehend those behind the crime. He also called on residents across Benin City and other parts of Edo State to remain vigilant and promptly report suspicious movement or activities to the nearest police station, noting that public cooperation is vital to the success of ongoing security operations. And Nigeria's premier private university, Igbenedion University Okada, has emerged as the overall best university at the Huawei ICT Competition Global Final clinching the prestigious International Grand Prize in the network track category. The all-female team from IU representing Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa outperformed over 201,000 participants worldwide to claim the top global honor. The victory builds on the earlier success of the team, where they won the grand prize as the best team in the Sub-Saharan African regional finals. Oluwafemi Farayola brings us details.
Nigeria's premier private university, Igbinedion University, Okada, IU, has emerged as the overall best university at the Huawei ICT Competition Global Final, clinching the prestigious International Grand Prize in the network track category. Representing Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa, outperformed more than 201,000 participants worldwide to secure the International Grand Prize, following an earlier win at the regional finals. The winning duo, Okogbe Mary of Electrical Engineering and Imafidon Victoria Esoe of Cybersecurity, also earned the Women in Tech Award, making history as the first all-female Nigerian team to win both regional and global top honors in the competition. This landmark achievement makes Igbinedion University, Okada, the first private university in Nigeria to reach this global milestone, highlighting the impact of its Huawei ICT academic training and industry-focused digital education. The competition, organized in partnership with Huawei and UNESCO IBA, tests skills in networking, cloud computing, AI, and 5G. The victory is being hailed as a defining moment for Nigeria's ICT sector and a powerful inspiration for young women pursuing careers in STEM. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
Still on education matters, in another development, Igbinedion University Okada's legacy of producing global competitive medical professionals have been reinforced again as Dr. Ada Igwilo, MD, a 2010 medicine graduate of the Oba Ogunade Shijuade College of Health Sciences, has been named Intern of the Year 2025-2026 during her family medicine residency program in Oregon, United States of America. The honor places her among the just 9 other inducted into our Hospital Hall of Fame since the program inception, a recognition reserved for residents who demonstrate exceptional clinical excellence, leadership, and commitment to patient care. Ikponwosa Ugiagbe brings details.
Dr. Igwilo's achievement highlights the strength of IUO's medical training, which combines rigorous academics with clinical discipline and ethical grounding. Since its establishment on 10th May 1999, Igbinedion University has positioned the Alayoluwa Oba Okwande Sijuwade College of Health Sciences as a pipeline for future-ready blue sky graduates. The university's emphasis on high ethical standards, professionalism, and resilience in medical practice has continued to produce doctors who excel far beyond Nigeria's borders. The Vice Chancellor of Igbinedion University, Professor Lawrence Ikechukwu Ezemonye, PhD, FAS, has consistently noted that IUO doctors are diligent, have compassion, and are ready to serve humanity. Dr. Igwilo's trajectory affirms that charge. From mastering the fundamentals of medicine at IUO to thriving in one of the most competitive residency environments in the U.S., she represents the university's mission to raise physicians who do not just practice medicine but redefine standards of care. Dr. Ada Igwilo, MD, now stands as another proud ambassador of Igbinedion University on the global stage. Her induction into the hospital's Hall of Fame is more than personal achievement. It is proof that IUO medical degree opens doors anywhere in the world. As she continues her family medicine residency, her story will inspire current students at Okada to aim higher, knowing that excellence learned at IUO translates into impact globally. Ikmomosa Ugiagbe, ITV News.
Tension gripped residents and commuters at Abiodun Motor Parks in Jatu Junction, Auchi, headquarters of Isako West Local Government area of Edo State on Monday afternoon, as daredevil gunmen unleashed shots on a middle-aged man, murdering him on the spot. Correspondent Anthony Igbano reports that efforts to obtain the details of the assassination victims and the purpose of the broad daylight killing are yet to yield any results.
According to eyewitnesses, the attackers immediately fled the scene after they struck shooting into the air, perhaps to scare all residents, while everyone in the area scampered away for safety. Witnesses said the operation was carried out swiftly, leaving bystanders shocked and unable to apprehend the perpetrators, who reportedly escaped in a vehicle. Efforts to obtain details about the victim's identity and the circumstances surrounding this attack was unsuccessful as at the time of filing this report. However, the incident was confirmed by the sector commander of Auchi sector of the State Security Corps, Aliyu Lawal, who acknowledged that they have visited the scene to evacuate the corpse of the victim.
Getting to that place, we met the DPO. One of my mates is a member of Auchi Vigilante Squad. He was the one that they shot, and his name is Francis, popularly known as Jogodo. According to the eyewitness, they were briefing us, telling us that the both of them, they just stand where they were discussing. Immediately after their discussion, there's the black Lexus just drove from the Polytechnic Way, opposite the lane. They wind the back glass, and all what they heard is shots. Boom, boom, boom. Then those boys that they are with him, about two of them, just quickly call a bike rider. Then the bike pick him. They were following the black Lexus. They follow him through the Otaru Palace, through to Uwarake Road. Then we pick him to the General Hospital, the DPO, then DSX. We are all there. They took him to the General Hospital for mortuary. So then we now got the information that the black Lexus passed through Uwarake Road.
Following, residents of the area made fervent appeal to the government of Edo State to increase deployment of security personnel to the area. Anthony Igbano, ITV News.
And that is our package on the news updates on ITV. I am Lawrence Osifo, thanking you for watching. Up next is TMI Socials. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
Good morning. This is TMI Socials. I am Anuluakbo Stevens. You better still call me a social media butterfly. Now, we'll kickstart with our video of the day. It's a throwback of the late General Rabi Abubakar, whose video recently got trending due to his demise. Take a look.
We are on course. Recently, we have rescued a lot of civilians from the terrorists, and I believe you must have read it on paper. Even last week alone, we rescued how many? About 300 plus children and women. And as long as we rescue this kind of thing, I mean, this kind of group of people, I will want to believe that rescuing Chibok girls is on site. Only that, you know, we have to be extremely cautious. We have to be extremely careful, and we are planning towards making a rescue that will be not just to rescue them, but rescue them with their unharmed and with their lives.
The military says it's winning the war against terror, and yet there's a video gone viral on the internet showing members of Boko Haram celebrating the Salah. What do you say to that?
The issue of that shouldn't bother Nigerians. We are done fighting. we know how far we have gone.
Well, the late Major General Rabe recently passed away in captivity of the bandits. Now, we kicked out our first video of the day. May his soul rest in peace. But update regarding this story says troops of the Nigerian army have rescued his wife, Mrs. Amina Abubakar, the widow of Major General Rabe Abubakar, who was recently abducted by bandits shortly before the retired senior military officer died in captivity. Now, according to a statement issued by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samira Uba, the rescue followed intensified search and rescue operations by troops of Operation Fasan Yama. Now let's move over to a couple of tweets and reactions on socials at this point on this story. This user wrote, "No single arrest was made. This na super story." Another user on Instagram says, "So same troops can find their way to rescue those kids and teachers it as well." While still on this beat, this user says on Instagram, this one wrote, "Thank goodness for her life. Rest in peace, General Rabe." Now, finally on the story, this user says, "So are we supposed to be happy about this news? Imagine releasing her with all the trauma, and now she's coming to bury her husband, whom they abducted her with. Really a pathetic situation." But away from that, we move over to Kano State, where the Kano State government has set aside the sum of 1.5 billion naira ahead of its planned mass wedding program for 3,000 beneficiaries. Now, the Commander General of the Hisbah board in the state made the disclosure yesterday while briefing journalists on preparations ahead of the program. He says, and I quote, that the Kano State government is to spend 1.5 billion naira on the entire mass wedding program, which will soon be conducted in the state. Now let's take a listen to him.
Kano State House of Assembly has enacted a law that any marriage, not only from Kano State Hisbah, but any marriage, that they have to undergo medical screening. The medical screening includes HIV screening, genotype screening, hepatitis screening. So all these our couples, they have to undergo this process. Anything that violates the health conditions, then that couples will be disqualified.
Well, 1.5 billion, not million, billion naira on the mass wedding right there in Kano State. We're looking forward to it. Now let's see what you said on the story. This user actually wrote on X, if we could have our first reaction. This one says, after wedding, reproduction, after reproducing, who takes care of the children? Or you just leave them to be mass abducted and recruited into the camp of insurgents? Why are we doing this, people? We have got to wake up. This ain't the 90s no more. Well, still on this beat, this user reacting to this story says, 1.5 billion for mass wedding? What happens to giving them free education? Crafty hands on X. Well, still on this beat, this user wrote, Borno is reintegrating terrorists back into society. Kano is using government resources to sponsor weddings for citizens. Not security, not education, but wedding. Misplaced priorities. Okay, well, still on this one, is that all we have on the story? Well, I think that's pretty much all we have on the story. Let's move over to the UK. Interesting news coming out from the UK, where we get to see the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, coming out to say yesterday that he has announced a forthcoming total ban on social media for children under the age of 16, saying that such platforms are making children unhappy. While the government said the ban will include platforms like Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X, but not messaging services as WhatsApp. Take a listen to the Prime Minister.
And our future. Because today, I can announce that the government will ban access to social media for all children under the age of 16. And this is not something I do lightly, and I will not present it as cost-free, as if social media has brought no benefits to young people, because clearly that is wrong. But government is always about choices, and it's clear to me that a full ban is the right choice.
Well, do you think we should bring down here to Nigeria? Let's find out what you have been saying, if you're in support of this or not. Now, Joe on X wrote, it should be extended to all those abusing the use of social media. Spending 12 hours on Instagram is absolutely wrong for anyone, irrespective of age. Another user reacting, this one wrote, Nigerian government should do the same thing. Once you're under 18, no social media. Okay, well, this user in X says, reasonable parents, we're supposed to do this and not the government. Anyways, there is VPN. Restricting some sites would have been a better option. Away from that, we go over to South Africa, where the South African government has expressed concern over the growing economic consequences of xenophobia allegations against the country. Now, saying that the backlash is affecting businesses and entertainers across Africa. Now, in this video that you would be listening to, the Minister of Justice says that people are no longer accepting the artists in the continent. Take a look.
To look at as well, that has come to my attention as well. It's our artists. Majority of South African artists perform on the continent, and many of them are seeing their gigs being cancelled. So that's another impact of the work, because they benefit quite a lot. They perform on live performance events and everything. So they are receiving a thing. We've not been able to work together. So we'll definitely work together with arts and culture to understand the impact for them to get. But one artist did reach out to me to say,
oh, dear South Africa. Now let's see what you said regarding this information. Now, trust netizens to do wonders online. This one says, wonderful. What a welcome development and a wonderful testimony. SA prayed for it, and now it's here. Therefore, you're in-house, and the original Kiwi curry, whatever that means, should be very happy now. This is just the beginning. Okay, this user on X still reacting to this. This one wrote, it is just getting started. I guess you all don't know every action comes with consequences. Absolutely. Now, finally, on this story, this user says, this is exactly what happens when you treat other Africans badly for years. Xenophobia has consequences, and he went on and on. Now, finally, on TMI socials, remember the late Director General of NAFDAC, Dora Akunyili? Well, her daughter, a Nigerian-born visual artist, Njideka Akunyili-Kursubai, has painted the official portrait of former United States President Barack Obama and his wife, Michelle, for the Obama Presidential Center. Take a look at the video.
Oh, I feel the energy shift.
Hi.
How are you?
So nice to see you. Before we get any commentary in, we just got to soak it in.
It's us. And
it is
all
so pretty.
of the stories within the story.
Your house just behind there?
Euclid. Oh my God, you got everything in there.
My only real question is, how come you didn't dye my hair in the photo?
It's
don't they usually touch it up a little bit?
I thought about it.
What was your sort of sequence?
So I did the drawing first of the two
Right.
of you. We read all your books. We listened to all the interviews you all have done, podcasts and videos. My whole studio got to know you.
Oh dear, Nigeria to the world. Amazing stuff emanating from Nigeria. Now that's how we wrap up TMI Socials today. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I am Nuoluakbo Stevens. And from all of us on This Morning on ITV, please stay safe. We'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.